Welcome
to the I'm Not Going to Work Tomorrow podcast.
Yes.
And we're literally not going to work tomorrow.
Yeah, because we ain't got no fucking job.
Nope.
It's been quite some time.
Yeah, we're the unemployed ones.
This is the first time we've, I think this is the first honest I'm Not Going to Work Tomorrow podcast, right?
Legitimately.
Because whether or not there were any times when we both didn't go to work the next day, we were scheduled to.
At times, yeah.
Yeah.
There were some truthful bits of I'm not going to work because just of the day that we were recording and stuff. But
Yeah, most of those days I was supposed to be at work the next day.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens when you record on Friday.
Yeah, well, we did it on Thursday.
Right. But, you know, it bled into Friday.
Yeah. That's true. It did bleed into Friday.
Yep. But here we are on a Monday. Hang on one second. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We had some fucking barn animals to deal with.
Yeah, you got a slew of animals now.
Yeah. And that one right there is screaming. She's going to have to get put in a cage here soon.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of cats, I have to say.
Yeah. Shut your whore mouth. Go, cat.
She just wants some dick, though.
Yeah, but I ain't got none for her.
No.
You had to go somewhere else, kitty.
You know cat dicks are barbed?
Really?
Yeah. They got like these weird little backward hooks. It's really weird.
It is weird. I'm just gonna pause this and put the cat away.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Take
right.
3.
Now that we are sans animals.
Yep. Well, there's still one roaming around in here somewhere.
Yeah, but it's being quiet for the moment, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah. She dislikes me enough to just stay gone.
Yeah.
God damn. That one that I just put away, completely immune to punishment. Completely immune.
What do you do to the cat?
Well, she, shits in places she shouldn't shit, pees in places she shouldn't pee, nose in it, completely unaffected. Mm-hmm. As soon as you're done rubbing her nose in it, she loves on you. Like, that was just really aggressive loving you gave her just now.
I think that cat might be like a masochist or something.
Something's wrong with her.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with both of them.
Yeah.
One's immune to punishment, and one is just incapable. There's not a thought rolling around in that head, dude.
Yeah. Some animals are just kind of dumb like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I've met smart cats. These ain't none of them.
My cat's not smart either. Like, I will literally just drop it off the back of the couch, trying to get it away from me, and then 2 seconds later, it'll be up there nudging my hands, trying to get me to pet it. Or worse yet, the motherfucker will come right out of the cat box, come jump on my chest, and start clawing at my beard like it's some kind of, like, cat toy.
You're just getting all that good litter right up in that beard.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you get to smell it all day.
No, I immediately go take a shower. I can't deal with that kind of shit all day.
Yeah, I can't either. But
Not a fan. Yeah. You know, I used to know this chick. I kind of still do know her. But when we were teenagers and stuff, she had a bunch of cats. Like, her whole family had cats. No. I don't know if you knew her.
Carla.
Her too, but no. Her dad had, the airsoft gun? Mm-hmm. He had a little airsoft pistol and would shoot the cats whenever he saw them doing something stupid.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I think that might border on animal abuse. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know if I subscribe to that. But, man, if a cat pisses me off enough that I'm going to shoot it with anything, I'm just going to give the cat away. You know?
Yeah. Or shoot it with something real.
Oh, my God. You're not supposed to do that, Kevin. It's 2023, Kevin.
Well, that's like your opinion.
I guess we could be 300 years ahead. So say if that one...
Technically 300 years behind. They added 300 years.
Correct. So we should be... our calendar is 300 years ahead of what it should be.
Yes. So it's somewhere around 1730 something.
Yeah. Well, isn't that something? Honestly, that's even more impressive. By the time the year 2000 actually does roll around, we're going to be probably not here. We probably will have ruined the planet by then.
Well, if the notion is true and it's somewhere around 300 years, you and I will not be here for sure.
No, I'm talking about just humans in general.
Yeah. Who's to say?
Yeah. But yeah, so we should talk about the elephant in the room. The fact that this is the first podcast in many months.
So yeah, somewhere close to 6.
Yeah, many moons have passed.
Many moons.
Yes. So I don't even remember in the last podcast did we address the fact that we were leaving.
Yes, we did.
We did?
So we had talked about your granddad and how you were going to go move back to Pine Tucky and help him and stuff.
Yep.
Which you did.
Did.
And I think that was about where we left it off.
Yeah. And sorry to report we are not broadcasting live from Pine Tucky.
Nope.
Yeah, that didn't pan out the way I was expecting it to. You know, you can't assume that you're going to get along with family just because you're family. And
that's true.
Pawpaw was an angel. There's nobody that couldn't get along with Pawpaw. But, you know, the people surrounding Pawpaw are sometimes hard. And by people, I mean one person in particular. They know who they are. I'm not saying it.
As I don't think you really should.
Yeah.
It seems in bad taste.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out that it was just one person so that nobody else was like, hey, what did I do? Because nobody else did anything.
No.
And honestly, I'll take my part of it. You know, that was... Whenever you're caring for a family member that you know you're losing, you kind of enter a space that, you know, a part of you comes out that isn't usually visible, you know?
Yeah.
So you're just raw emotions. You're just
there.
Yeah, there's not really any room for a front of any sort, you know? You're just exactly how you feel all the time.
Yeah.
Because, dang.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is, you know, you went and you did what you thought you needed to do at the time. Shit didn't quite pan out. Sometimes it'd be that way.
Yeah, it was a little traumatizing.
Yeah.
I'm certain that is going to hurt someone someday because I bottled it up real good. Yeah. I think I said that. So, yeah, spoiler. Pawpaw passed away.
He did. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But honestly, dude, it's way better than what he was dealing with.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of something that happens to all of us eventually. Nobody gets out of this life alive.
Yeah. But that being said, we took care of Pawpaw the way that we did because that's what he wanted. You know? And it just seemed like it would be such a heartbreak for it to end anywhere other than that house. But now, you know, after living through that, I really don't think I want any of my loved ones to have to go through that. I think they should just put me in a home.
Yeah.
I think as soon as I get to a certain point where I must be cared for, you know, like hand and foot, like diapers and the feeding of like mashed peas and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I want... that's not how I want them to remember me, you know?
No, and that's kind of... This is a weird stance to take, but, you know, there's a couple states in the U.S. that do, like, doctor-assisted suicide.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, if you're a vegetable.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, there's certain cases, like, I don't think you should be a 20-year-old doing this, you know, if you're perfectly healthy and stuff, but if... Like, okay, I say that to say this.
Doctor-assisted suicide is the same as... so, like... Maybe elaborate some, because pulling the plug could be the same thing.
Well, there's a bit of a backstory here. Okay. So, I told my wife years ago, like, before we were even married, I'm pretty sure, if I ever got to a point where I've got to get my diapers changed and, yeah, you know, feeding mashed up peas through a straw, you know, all of that whole 9 yards, I don't want to live like that, and I don't want you to have to put up with that.
Yeah.
So, take me out back and put a bullet in my head or something, you know?
Yeah. Make it look like an accident.
Yeah.
Make it look like I just tripped and fell on the spike.
I'm paraphrasing a probably 2-hour-long conversation we had, but and the gist of it is I don't want to be that way, and it seems to be you don't either, you know? So my notion is there's the doctor-assisted suicide, and usually it's in the states that have it legalized. I think there's only like 1 or 2, and I'm pretty sure it's like Oregon and Washington State. I'm not entirely sure. somebody will probably fact check me on that eventually.
Likely.
But, it's for terminally ill patients. Somebody that's not going to get better. Somebody that's, they've lived their life. They're at the end of their rope.
Yeah.
So
there's no way out. This is happening.
It's mostly a legal way of doing it somewhat
not
trauma free for your relatives and such.
So no one has to find you in the backyard with a hole in your head.
Yeah, because that's not fun either. It's finding you dead like that and watching you die. I feel like are pretty similar traumatically.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be wrong.
Because at least if it's just that one instance, oh my God, don't look. One person gets scarred, right?
Yeah.
And then they call and tell nobody else to go out there, and they get the ambulance, and that's done. Yeah. That's bad.
But if you're able to get a doctor involved, then, you can have a nice hospital bed. They can, give you some painkillers.
And you can be there with them as they go.
You can go out on a high.
Yeah.
Of your own accord.
Yeah. That might be fine.
It just seems a little bit more pleasant. I know it's still not going to be fun for anybody
Go out
involved,
singing like Moon Man from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, go out on a high note, I feel like, is a good euphemism.
Moon Man.
Goodbye. I'm terrible at singing.
Man. Goodbye.
Yeah, Rick and Morty had so much good music in it.
I'm telling you, dude. It's so good. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, so, Paul, God rest his soul, laid to rest. And, before that took place, about a month before that happened, I got into a really heated argument with a very close family member and ended up cutting ties there. And it was all over the amount of work this particular someone was putting in to Paul.
Yeah. Has this particular family member contacted you since then?
They are not allowed to. I've blocked them.
Ah.
I've given them no opportunity to do so.
I see.
Which is, honestly, I should probably unblock them. But I'm just, eventually I will. I just not quite ready.
I know, okay, because my dad died when I was like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of things leading up to that. I was pretty pissed off for many years, and I never really got to reconcile that because he was dead.
Yeah.
So if I could give you any advice was to...
let it the fuck go. Or at least...
well, I wouldn't say let it go, per se, because it is still fucked up.
Yeah.
But to be able to at least have the conversation, hopefully, and keep it somewhat peaceful and maybe come out the side... if you don't come out on the other side, good with the other person, at least you will have been able to say your piece and be able to move forward with it.
Yeah, eventually I will. It's just that every time I start to think about that conversation, I know this person very well. So immediately I know exactly where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And if I don't respond properly, I know exactly where they're going to go then, and I'm going to block them all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the one good
this person
thing,
is a very predictable creature.
Yeah, and I know who you're talking about because we've talked about this, but at the same time, the good thing that you have on your side is that you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're separate from them.
Yeah, I'm self-made.
Yeah, you got your own shit going on.
Yeah.
You don't need them for anything specifically, but it would be nice to be able to at least have a decent relationship.
Yeah, it'd be cool if I could just, pop in and visit with my niece and my nephew and all my brothers without, something terrible looming nearby.
Yeah, at least to not have the bad blood. But at the same time, if that still persists, at least you got to say your piece.
Yeah. And, I already have said my piece. That's probably why I haven't reopened the door.
I guess that's also
and
fair.
I feel bad because, they lost somebody too.
Yeah.
It's not as though it's the fucking Justin show. But,
I
understand.
A lot of doors work two ways, though,
Yeah.
There's a doorknob on the outside just as much as there is one on the inside.
Right. But, whatever.
Yeah.
These things will sort themselves out. But in lieu of that, I have fallen deeply for a woman in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah, what I almost assumed would be my eternally single friend has turned into Romeo.
Yeah, he has charmed a lady.
He's got him a lady friend.
Yeah, a lady. That's how Bill Burr does it. You know,
Yeah.
anytime he says the word lady, he moves away from the mic and says it real loud.
Yeah, I love Bill Burr.
Oh, looky here, we got a new letter, and it's from a lady. I hope that sounds cool.
We'll find out in post.
Oh, God, it's going to suck. But anyway. Yeah, so. Here we are in Columbus, Georgia. In the town of Old, where I will likely stay from now on. I don't think I'm going back there. After all of that and going out there, going back home, so to speak, in Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I had so much to return to.
There's not a lot out there, bud.
There's not a lot out there. And
like, I enjoyed my time out there just as much as any other person, I feel like, but there ain't shit out there.
Even with access to internet. I thought the access to internet would fix it all.
No,
Dude,
not really.
That place, there's just something about that spot in particular. It just breeds unending busyness. And you're just sweeping in a circle. You know, you never get done.
Yeah.
By the time you get back around the circle, there's something else to be done. You're never finished.
I feel like that's my house right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, I've been washing dishes for days, trying to get everything kind of cleaned up, and I go back in there today, and it's just as full as it ever was.
Yep. It's a hell of an ocean.
Yeah.
God, the fleas.
Yeah, well, you got all the woods and stuff, you know.
And the roaches. Jesus.
See, answer A.
It's really nice not to have to fight that off, you know.
Yeah.
After all, it's... Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot more opportunity for work and stuff around here. You know, you can actually get some money in your pocket. And
dude, I thought... So, the last time I went looking for an online job, lickety fucking split. Got it right away.
Yeah.
Those jobs are gone.
Yeah, well, most people are going back to work now. You know, the pandemic's been over for 2 years.
That's what it was.
Now.
The reason it was so easy is because of the pandemic. But it was easy to get a job before then. And now it's just fucking impossible, dude.
Yeah. So if I can interject, I will kind of add to your point there. So I was let go from my last job.
Is that so?
Yes, it was. I'm not going to go into great detail. It's somewhat embarrassing.
But enough detail for me to make fun of you, at least.
So I was let go for mismanagement of company time.
Yeah, and where did you manage that time inappropriately?
In the pooper.
Ooh.
But not all of it. All right, so I got a write-up for my mismanagement of time in the pooper, which I'll be honest with you, I'll own that. That was me. I did that.
You scrolled to TikTok on the toilet?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I took a little too long there with my phone, getting distracted and such, as one is liable to do.
You braced when you should have pushed.
Yeah. And, you know, I'll own that. That's on me. Now, the actual firing, I feel like, was a little bit overzealous because at that point it was just because I didn't follow the precise letter of their arrangements. I was supposed to tell my lead man every time I left the area, and he left the area.
That's what they fired you for?
Basically, yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So, and he wasn't always there for me to tell, and he also told me he didn't really want to know, frankly. So I left it alone.
So they just they kind of just shafted you.
Kinda. I think at that point they were just looking for a reason. But if I'm also being honest with myself, I was already looking at the door a year ago.
Yeah.
You know, now granted, I would have liked to have had something else to fall back on when I walked out that door, but that was not the case in this scenario.
Yeah.
But it is what it is now. I'm kind of, that door has closed in my life, and I feel like several other doors have opened up now.
Right. Now you're free to pursue other ventures.
Yeah, which I am doing wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I honestly thought, as soon as I discovered, because, I haven't gone back to my government job since I got back here. Not for lack of trying. They just haven't had the time to find a spot for me.
Yeah.
I assumed that since you and I were both out of work and chilling, we'd be hanging out a lot. But it turns out we're both lazy sacks of shit.
That does be the case in this scenario. Because I called you. Actually, I texted you that day that I got fired, and you called me, and we sat on the phone for like an hour and a half, something like that, making all these plans. We were going to start making knives and selling them on Etsy.
Yeah.
And doing all this other stuff.
We can still do that.
We can still, and I think we should.
But it's not going to be a source of direct revenue, because those knives have been up for about a week now, and I ain't seen no... People be looking at them. I have had 50 views, just from strangers.
That's cool.
But
ain't nobody bought nothing yet, though.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't go down on the price. It'd be insane to sell them for any less than that.
Yeah, you gotta at least charge what you're worth.
Yeah, you can't charge any less than $40 a knife. It can't happen.
Yeah, not a handmade knife.
A handmade knife that I ground with my hands and sharpened with my hands. I did it all with my hands.
Yep.
I
feel like that's a fair price, especially when you consider, you can get a Gerber. A Gerber folding knife's gonna run you $40 damn near nowadays.
Yeah. And maybe they're looking for a cheaper option than that, but dude, you shouldn't get Jethro, who, spent 2 whole days building a knife to, get off on that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you pick a corporation to get off of. They're not going to miss that $10.
Yeah, why don't you just go to eBay and buy yourself a used knife and you clean it up.
Yeah. I had this same notion, when we were in a band and stuff, and the subsequent bands that I had over the years, everybody wanted to pay you an exposure.
Yeah.
That was the one word I hated the most.
Exposure.
And fuck your exposure. I've got $5,000 worth of equipment rolled up in a $500 car that I spent $50 to get here in. Mm-hmm. Pay me, motherfucker.
Exactly. In exposure. Fuck you.
Exposure don't pay bills, bitch.
Daddy needs shoes.
Indeed.
But yeah. So speaking of musical ventures, I watched a YouTube video the other day.
Okay.
This just randomly popped up. It was an antique. It was a Gibson acoustic. What are those called? It was like a Rose or something?
I'm not entirely sure. They had a bunch of different models. They had a Dreadnought. They had a bunch of numbers and stuff. Like the 335 was one of their electric. I can't remember all of them.
It was a big, fat acoustic Gibson guitar from the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Those are super fucking valuable.
It was really, really pretty. And it was just a guitar review. They were looking at it. And this guy was just playing it for you and just showing you. And then he's playing some first of all, he's clearly European.
Uh-huh.
But he's playing some country licks.
Well, I mean, it kind of fits the guitar.
And then he pulls on the neck and the B bends.
It's a B-bender.
It's a fucking acoustic B-bender.
Oh, my God. Usually those were just in, Telecasters.
Yeah.
You know how that mechanism works, don't you?
Yeah, it literally, the strap it's pulling on the B string and just raising it up one step.
Uh-huh.
And, the same way you can do it, if you just push down behind the nut.
Yeah.
You just pull on it's just a fucking arm attached to the strap of your guitar, so when you pull on it, it bends the B string hard enough so that it brings it up a whole step.
Yeah,
and it sounded fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The Beatles sounded like country music.
So you know how I learned about B-benders?
How?
You know who Brad Paisley is, don't you?
Right? Oh, yeah, Brad Paisley be bending the shit out of that B.
He's got a couple original pre-CBS Fender Telecaster, like a 56 Telecaster or something like that. That was a B-bender. beautiful guitar. It's like this butterscotch color with a maple neck.
Who's that guy who invented the B-bender?
It was Leo Fender, I thought.
No. It was a guy in a band.
Oh, I have no idea. Bigsby?
No,
that's a tremolo.
Because I went down a whole deep dive about B-benders because of that video.
I don't really know it much other than just how it works, and Fender did it for a really short time. But he's got, Brad Paisley, he's got another one that was a G-bender.
Aha!
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, that guy does not get enough credit in the guitar world. Like, he can play his ass off.
Dude, Paisley rules. He's a fucking epic guitarist.
Yeah, like, I'm not a big fan of his music per se, but like,
it's
Jesus.
because it sounds like every other new country sound.
Yeah, but
his fucking guitar playing is untouchable.
Is amazing.
You ain't gonna catch his ass.
No.
He passed the finish line years ago.
That guy can chicken pick like the best of them.
Yeah, he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see here. Who invented the B-bender? Gene Parsons and Clarence White of Nashville West and the Byrds.
Oh.
And today...
Is he Alan Parsons' dad by chance?
Gene Parsons. He's born September 4th, 1944, in Monroe Valley, California. Is an American drummer, banjo player, guitarist, singer, songwriter, and engineer. Best known for his work in the Byrds from 68 to 72. Parsons also released solo albums and played in bands including Nashville West, the Flying Burrito Brothers, and Parsons Green. So now Parsons is actually still making. He's still around. He's 79. He's now patented his B-bender design, and they have G and B-bender combos, and they're available not only for Fender products.
Really?
You can put a G/B-bender on a fucking Les Paul.
That would be absolutely nuts. It's a wonder Billy Gibbons hasn't done something with that.
Right? But, like, fucking, because... Okay, so here's another story inside of this story. My Gibson Les Paul that I've been bragging so hard about. I'm pretty sure I bragged about it at least once on this podcast.
Probably.
Turns out it's not real. It's not actually Gibson.
Yeah, it's a Chibson.
It's a Chibson. It's a Chinese guitar. And god damn it, that was heartbreaking. When I came back from Pintucky, I could use, I needed a little change in my pocket, so I tried to go sell it, and I took it to Everything Musical, local store here, and the guy held it for 2 seconds and was like, "It's fake." And I was like, "What? No." He was like, "Yep," and he showed me. He made 3 or 4 good points I couldn't refute, and I walked out really sad.
Yeah, I hate that for you. Which, by the way, I was a little butthurt. You didn't do what I told you to do.
What'd you tell me to do?
I told you when you first started talking about moving back to Pintucky that if you ever decide to sell that guitar, you're supposed to sell it to me first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I didn't know you wanted it. But you were in a tough place at the same time,
Somewhat, but I didn't particularly want the guitar. I just wanted you to be able to get the guitar back and if you ever wanted to do that.
Honestly, I'd forgotten all about that.
Well, I mean, we're here now, so
yeah,
it's kind of water under the bridge.
It hasn't been sold. It's still on the wall. Damn it!
It's not worth nearly as much as you thought it was.
No. Fuck.
It's still a really good guitar, man.
It's like following the rainbow and like finding the pot of gold in the end, and it's just like a cardboard stick figure. Knock it over.
Well, what's kind of funny, every guitar or bass I've ever owned has always been like the lesser brand.
Yeah.
Like I've had 2 Fenders, quote unquote, which were actually Squires.
Yep.
I had my fretless jazz bass and I had a P bass for a while. Both of those were Squires. Both of them sound amazing. I still have the jazz bass. That's my number one. And it still just sounds amazing. I had a OLP bass, which was the OLP actually stands for Officially Licensed Product. It was made by Ernie Ball, Music Man.
Nice.
It was passive. It had a passive humbucker in the bridge position. It was weird. It had 3 knobs. It had volume for both coils of magnets. So the front coil had a volume knob, the back coil had a volume knob, and it had a master tone. And I wound up taking that out and just soldering the whole thing together so it had one knob, just a volume knob, and it kicked ass. That thing sounded amazing. I loved it. And then, you ever heard of a guy named Joe Dart?
Joe Dart?
Dart, yes. He plays with a band called Wolfpack.
Wolfpack.
Yes, Vulfpeck.
Wolfpack.
And they're like a Motown funk rhythm section band is what they're going for. Really good. You should listen to some of their stuff. But he plays, his is much nicer than mine was, granted. He plays a Music Man with a passive humbucker with one knob. So I did it before he did. And that guy makes a lot of money now. I'm good. So yeah, there was that. Then I have a New York Pro acoustic. Bet you never even heard of New York Pro.
I actually have. I think because of you.
Yes, because it's that black acoustic that I've had since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I've had people come up to me with me playing that thing, talking about, man, that thing sounds amazing. How much did you pay for that? And I tell them I paid $100.
Yep. Isn't that something?
Yeah, but it sounds great. You know, you slap a new set of strings on that thing, and it sounds damn near as good as any Martin guitar you've ever heard.
Dude, that goddamn not Gibson. I don't even know what to call it anymore. The Paul in there. Not Paul.
It's a Gibson.
It's Gibson. But damn it. You know, that's so depressing. But it's still, you know.
Oh, wait.
They.
You know, because you thought it was a slash signature.
Yeah.
It's a shrash.
It's a shrash.
Yes, it's a slash with a Chinese accent.
Okay, yeah, it's a shrash. I like shrash. Damn it, motherfuckers. It's my shrash guitar. Shrash. But
still sounds
the
great,
motherfuckers
man.
bothered to put his signature and a number on the back of it.
It's a little above and beyond.
What kind of fucking horseshit? That sucks. That is just evil.
You know, if somebody wanted to make a really good fake, they did it.
They fucking fooled the shit out of me, man. Like,
what kind of kills me, though, is that people were selling it like it was the real thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to have a copy and price it like a copy.
Yep.
You know, even if you have this, if you got the body and the neck from some Chinese manufacturer for $100, and then put all Gibson stuff in it, like, I can understand.
That's
you
what
reflecting,
this is. It's got full-on Gibson hardware everywhere. Everything about it is Gibson except for the body and the neck.
Yeah, so I could understand you charging for those components, you know, because the pickups and the bridge and the nut, you know, all the tuners, all those things, they cost money. They probably cost more money than the actual guitar did in the first place.
Yep.
I could understand you charging for those things. But to charge it like it's an actual Gibson product, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. It sucks.
You know, if you knew that was what you were doing, you're a piece of shit, sir.
Yeah. I don't think the guy who sold it to me knew. But part of me...
Well, I mean...
But now, because...
You said that thing's had like 2 or 3 different owners, so I mean, it's likely he didn't know. And
now that
But somebody did know.
I've been revisiting the scenario in my head. Like, because I thought I gave him like around $2,000 value of stuff. It wasn't all cash. It was knives and wood, lumber. I went back to the sawmill and bought him some fucking big, thick, wide ass, 2-inch thick, true oak lumber, you know, that was super wide. He was going to build a fucking countertop out of.
Yeah.
You know, that's some expensive shit.
Yeah, it is. Oak is expensive.
The only reason he got it at all, and the only reason I got it is because, you know, I had favors to call it. I know motherfuckers that be sawing. Because I put in about 7 years of back-breaking hard labor that I'm going to feel for the rest of my life.
Indeed you will, sir.
Yeah, that hookup was hard-earned. But, yeah, and then just thinking about the interactions we had afterwards and knowing who looked at it. A fellow we worked with who is a fucking guitar aficionado, fantastic guitar player, fantastic guitar editor, opened it up.
Yeah.
I think if anybody would have knew it was fake, it's him. And if he'd have told anybody it was the guy that sold it to me, I fear I may have been stabbed in the front.
And you may have been duped.
Yeah. That sucks.
That does kind of suck.
Smells a little sketch.
You've opened it up, haven't you? Like looked in the control compartment and everything.
Yeah.
Is it painted black or is it just bare wood?
It's honestly I can't remember.
Oh.
I sent you pictures.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I actually know. I remember you did. I don't recall myself now.
Actually, I have the pictures right here on the phone. But yeah. So it's painted black actually.
Okay. Well, I mean that's the same thing that Gibson would have done. It's like a shielding paint. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's hard. Every time you look at it, it makes you want to say it's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't scroll too hard. There might be a wiener in there somewhere.
No, I'm just looking at the 4 pots instead of the one that you showed me. Because I'm pretty sure Gibson uses CTS pots, but I'm not 100% certain. But I can't even make out what it says on those right now.
Yeah. The guy at Everything Musical said the truss rod was wrong.
Yeah.
And if the truss rod is wrong,
everything else is wrong.
Yeah, it can't possibly be real.
Didn't he say something about the headstock being a weird shape too?
Yeah, but that was bullshit. There's lots of true Gibsons with that headstock shape. He was just wrong about that, which makes me question everything he said. But yeah.
Well, there's 2 things you can do. You can either call in like a real Gibson expert guy and go to a different music store or something.
Well, it's instantly
and find out, or
honestly, I think I have to trust that it's fake because there's not a serial number on the motherfucker.
And Gibson does a serial number.
Mm-hmm. Nowhere on it. No serial number.
That's also a little iffy.
It's supposed to be on the back of the head.
Yeah, it goes in between the tuners.
Yep. It's
it ain't there.
It ain't there. Ain't nowhere. There just ain't one.
Yeah.
You've seen the whole guitar.
You know, I think at this point,
it's fake.
Just play it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it for what it is.
And honestly, it's still the best sounding guitar I've ever played because it's got real Gibson hardware. It just ain't a Gibson. You know?
I mean, it felt like a Gibson to me. I've played actual Gibsons and, you know, the really expensive Epiphones and stuff. It felt like, you know, those.
It just sucks to fall in love with a lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, you never should base a relationship off of lies.
Yeah, she broke my heart, man. I think that's why I'm, you know.
I think that's why you're so butthurt.
Yeah. It really broke my heart, man.
You know, because like I said earlier, you know, I own basically nothing but off-brand instruments.
And granted,
but I knew they were off-brand instruments.
It was just insult to injury because it broke my heart to even consider selling it in the first place, and then found out I didn't have anything to sell. You know? Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, dude.
You know, that's basically every time I've sold a vehicle. It had I thought it was worth its weight in gold. Turns out it's worth its weight in pewter.
Yeah, you know. And pewter's mostly tin.
Yeah, and tin's not real expensive these days.
No.
Although, speaking of expensive, have you priced out wood lately?
It's not as bad as it was. It's starting to go down.
It's not as bad as it was, but it's still high as giraffe pussy.
Yeah, you're going to spend $1,000, you're building a porch.
Yeah, I priced out a fence for a lady my wife works with. It's 70 feet of privacy fence, straight line, no gates, nothing.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was almost $900 just in materials.
Yeah, actually, I forgot to tell you this, but I got a gig like that too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, probably in February when tax season comes around.
Is
when some of my lady's friends is wanting me to build it. So if you throw me a bone on that one, throw you a bone on the next one. You know?
What do they want done?
Same exact thing. No gate, just new fence.
Oh, dude, yeah, we can totally rock that out.
Yeah, it's like exactly the same length too.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, same job twice. The hardest part is going to be digging the fucking holes.
Oh, dude, no. I have got the post hole diggers to end all post hole diggers.
Is it post hole diggers or is it an auger?
It's post hole diggers.
You know they make gas powered augers.
I am very well aware. I am also very poor.
It's only $200 or $300
To rent one.
to buy one.
Where are you buying an auger for $200?
Fucking like Harbor Freight. Kevin's got one. My brother has one. We could borrow that bitch. Full frizzle.
We'd spend more in gas going to get the damn thing.
That's not true. You know that's not true.
It's pretty damn close though.
Yeah, but I'd like to see my niece and my nephew anyway.
I mean, there's that.
Yeah. What we could do?
I'm just saying.
Because he ain't using the bitch, I could just borrow it the first time we do the fence.
Yeah.
And then take it back after we do the second fence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if he ever needs it, be like, yeah, man, come on up here and get it, boy. I'll give you some gas.
Yeah. I've been thinking about like just not getting a job at all and just starting this fence company up.
Well, if you do that, let me know, and I'll tell Sam's to suck a fat one if you want a laborer.
Can always use a laborer.
Yeah. But
I can't pay you a whole lot.
Yeah, I understand that it likely...
It's probably not going to feed us for a while.
Fetus. He said fetus.
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 Feed us.
Fetus.
Anyway.
But yeah, if I can, I like math, carpenter.
It doesn't take a whole lot.
And
it's pretty easy.
I got a... Do you have an air compressor?
No.
Oh.
Hand nailing, everything.
I got a pneumatic nail gun right out there.
No kidding.
Yep.
Well, I'll be good goddamned.
Yep. So, if we wanted to, we could use... This is interesting podcast material, huh?
Yeah, we just turned this into a business proposition.
A fucking... play Monopoly all of a sudden. But okay, so we do the first gig, buy an air compressor. Do the first gig by hand, right?
Yeah.
Buy an air compressor to power the pneumatic gun. And then... Well, hang on, because it ain't going to take a huge, badass air compressor to do this.
No, we used to do... When I worked for the fence company, we had a little, 5-gallon air compressor that'd run your whole thing. As long as you weren't moving too fast.
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight for the win.
The working man.
Lifetime warranty.
Fucking $200 Craftsman air compressor.
How many gallons is it? Is it gas or is it electric?
This don't look too good. Hang on, let me go to Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight air compressors. Shit. 3-gallon, 1/3 horsepower, electric. $60.
We need something a little bit bigger than that.
All right, what size you looking at?
Look at their gas ones and see if you can get a 5 or a 10-gallon.
Okay. Well, we got 1 to 6, 8 to 17, and 20 to 30.
Do the 8 to 17.
Wow. Okay. Prices range from 160 to 1,000.
What's the 160 one?
8-gallon, 1.5 horsepower, and I believe this one is gas powered. Not mistaken.
Does it have an engine on it?
Yes.
Then it's gas powered.
Well, some of them's electric.
Does it have a gas tank? Usually it'll be sitting there right on top.
I can't tell. It's shaped funny.
Yeah. Anyway, we can kind of move past this, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. An affordable. We can get an affordable little air compressor, and let's just look at one more thing, and then we'll move on to regular podcast stuff. The fucking the auger. Hole driller.
Hole digger.
Hole digger.
Although I gotta say, we had an auger when I worked at the fence company, and you can't use that in every situation.
$240
with the bit and everything.
Mm-hmm. This is exactly the one Kevin got. It's a Predator.
Dude, those Predator motors are badass.
Aren't they though?
Like, we had one on the back of our duck boat, my brother and I did, and we sunk that thing in the Chattahoochee River one day. Have I ever told that story?
I think you have, actually.
Did I tell it on the podcast?
I believe so. I think that's how I heard the story.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, oh yeah, because it was the near-death experiences. I remember that one. Yep. So yeah, we sunk that joker in the Chattahoochee River, and then took it off because it was basically shot and full of water. Took it back to Harbor Freight, sat it there on the counter, and got a new one.
Yeah.
For free.
But yeah, dude, $500. Get an all-granite air compressor. We already got that nail gun. That was $160. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We might be able to do this. We got to start drumming up some business.
Yeah. And we're going back to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you advertise, motherfucker, I will help you. Shit,
yeah.
Maybe let's buy the stuff first.
Well, I mean, technically we don't need that stuff yet.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. And we might be overthinking it some because
the air compressor might be more necessary.
Yeah, air compressor.
If we buy anything, that would be what we get first.
Yeah, and I need one anyway.
Yeah.
For random things.
Yeah, because I can tell you what, hand nailing boards all day sucks dicks.
Are they wanting to do around here? Do they usually cement the fence posts?
Yes.
Shit.
Quickcrete. You just add it into the customer's bill.
Yeah. Easy.
But
it's not easy to get it up.
I mean, it's only 80 pounds.
I guess so, but I just recall there being cement in the remember the tree house in my dad's backyard?
Oh yeah, no, having to bust it up sucks.
Oh my god, that was terrible.
We used to have to do that every now and then. I remember we did some work for CSU one time, and we had to move the tennis court. So they had built a new tennis court, and they wanted the old one taken down. And so we went in there. The corner posts were 5-inch Schedule 40 pipe that they made into fence posts. We had to dig all that up, bust the concrete up, haul it away. God almighty, it was terrible.
Yeah, I imagine.
What we wound up doing when we put the new poles in the ground, we would just take some of that old concrete and mix it in with the new stuff and get rid of it that way. Made it way easier.
That makes good sense.
Yeah. But then a lot of times, like, if we were taking an old fence out and putting a new one in, if we didn't have to put the poles in the exact same spot, you just cut them bitches off at the ground, leave it where it is.
Fuck yeah.
They won't know the difference.
Yeah, honestly, that's huge time saver, but now you need a chainsaw.
I got a chainsaw.
Hey, bring that bitch over here. I got some shit to cut down.
I got to use it this week, but yeah, I'll bring it over.
I need it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But, fucking, damn, we went way off track. We're talking about guitars, and we got off on building fences and shit.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about why we hadn't been on. We were talking about what happened with you in Kentucky, how I lost my job.
Then we got onto the guitar, and we were talking about some shit.
How it's a Chipson.
It's a Chipson. The Shranch.
Oh yeah. I think I remember because we were talking about how expensive something was, and then I asked you if you priced wood out lately.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my Shrash guitar is not a Slash guitar; it's a Shrash guitar.
Yeah.
Speaking of Slash, that YouTube video that I saw with the B-bender. Oh, I want to put a B-bender on the fake Shrash guitar.
Oh yeah.
I want it to B-bend. I think that'd be cool because it's a fucking Les Paul. It's not a Les Paul. What are we risking?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That would also tell you a lot about it if you go routing out and see the actual natural wood.
Know what it fucking is.
Yeah, because all Gibsons are made out of at least all Les Pauls are made out of mahogany.
Yeah.
It's solid fucking mahogany.
And I was allowed to hold a true blue Les Paul in one hand and mine in the other, and there is a noticeable difference. It's pretty light.
Yeah, that's kind of a damning sentence right there.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter. It's incredibly light for a Les Paul. So we're going to add some weight to it. We're going to put some fucking machinations in there. But, yeah. So I was, but, Slash's iconic fucking gold top Gibson Les Paul?
The 59?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not a Gibson.
No, it's not. It's made by a guy.
A motherfucker in his garage made that guitar.
Yeah. Although, I do have to say, I looked at that guy's good guitars that are for sale. Like, I think he died.
He did die. He died before he ever got famous for making the guitar.
Yeah, so Slash made him famous posthumously.
Yep.
And his guitars are selling for like tens of thousands of dollars.
Well, they're beautifully handmade. It's because like they're not.
And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of new old stock wood. Like he was making these guitars out of wood that was harvested dozens of years before he made them.
He got the wood for Slash's guitar on a trip he made to New York. It's just wood he picked up there and brought back across the country and made it into a guitar that would go on
to be arguably the
Appetite for Fucking Destruction.
Arguably the most famous guitar to be played.
The fucking
at least top 10
zebra stripe pickups. God damn.
It's a beautiful guitar.
It really is. He usually didn't even put those pickups in it. He just happened to have some of those and put it in it. And it everything about it lends to Slash's fucking sound.
Yeah, and that guitar was the sound of one of the most selling records of at least the 90s,
Yeah.
Or late 80s, whenever they made that. I think it was like 86 or 87.
Yeah. It was mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
When Guns N' Roses fucking blew up.
Yeah. Those guys did the damn thing, man.
They did the goddamn thing. And more about Guns N' Roses. I listened to a fucking ton of stuff. I don't know what it was. There was a Guns N' Roses cover band that got recommended to me called Night Train.
Night Train.
Night Train.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, because that song.
The Night Train. Yeah.
I'm on the night train. Bottoms up. I'm on the night train.
I heard. I can't remember if it. No, it was Motley Crue, I think. There's a song on one of the early Motley Crue records where you hear a girl moaning, and what it was.
No, you're thinking about Guns N' Roses.
Was it Guns N' Roses? Yeah,
Rocket Queen.
Rocket Queen, yeah. Axl Rose was fucking some chick in the sound booth, and that's the sound they used for the record.
He was fucking Steven Adler's girlfriend.
Yeah.
The drummer's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they left it on the record.
Uh-huh.
Fuck, dude.
You know how shitty that's probably gotta be?
What a fucking shitty guy. So now every fucking time Steven Adler plays that song, he's got to hear his girlfriend cheating on him with Axl Rose.
To be fair, he probably doesn't play that song a whole lot.
They played it a lot.
Well, yeah, I guess he did have to play it at live and stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking sitting in the car playing music or whatever. But yeah, you're right. He had to play that fucking song for years.
Yeah, he really didn't get along with Axl for lots of reasons.
It makes a lot of sense why they broke up.
They're back together.
Yeah, I heard some of that. I don't think it sounds good.
It doesn't. He sings the whole time in falsetto.
Yeah.
He says like this. There's just no power in his voice.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Slash was doing so much better with Miles Kennedy.
Yeah. Miles Kennedy is a monster. But I get why he went back, just because, they're fucking family, dude. If the same thing...
They kind of fucking hated each other.
Yeah, but they're family. So if you and I had made it big, and the worst parts of us had ruled our lives for the better part of 2 decades.
Yeah.
And we left on bad terms, and now I suck at singing. My voice is gone. But you've gone on to have wonderful success, and you hear from me all of a sudden out of the blue, I would like to reconvene. You're going to say no?
I guess not.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to you if it was spun the other way. But what pisses me off about Axl's lack of voice, because he toured with AC/DC.
Did he?
In 2017, after I don't know if it was the passing of Brian Johnson, but Brian Johnson just wasn't touring.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he was sick or something. And the motherfucker lit it up.
He was still good.
He sang. He sang. He sounded like Axl goddamn Rose. And it was fucking phenomenal. It was real good. Not all that long ago.
And now all of a sudden he's doing this weird shit.
Yeah, and now he can't sing no more. What's going on? So it's like he can sing when he wants to.
What? I mean, maybe there could be a myriad of reasons why. I mean, he could have gotten sick and, maybe lost his voice, or
I just like to imagine.
I don't know.
That
maybe his heart's not in it.
It may be.
I mean, they're in their, 60s now?
He's 61, Axl Rose is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also, to be fair to the age thing, fucking Keith Richards and, what's his name? The Rolling Stones.
Oh, fucking...
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. They're still fucking touring from time to time. They still sound amazing.
Steven Tyler still sounds like a fucking angel.
Even though he sounds like your old aunt.
Yeah, but still, he sounds... I mean, he kept his voice.
He did.
He kept it.
The guy can belt it.
Yeah.
And he's in his 70s?
Yeah, he don't do it very often, but when he does, you fucking feel the power.
Yeah,
it's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, you can crank that generator up right now. It'll push a house. But, yeah, it just... What happened?
I don't know. I think maybe, his heart's just not in it. Like, he wanted to do this.
He moves like his heart's in it.
Yeah.
He still does the fucking serpentine thing.
Is he still fat, or did he lose some of the weight?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
It kind of depressed me. Just looking at... Because, a lot of YouTube videos, they have, images of him in his prime and images of him now right next to each other.
He's not real favorable anymore.
No. He looks like... there's a lot of pictures of him looking like... What's his name? That guy...
Billy Corbin?
No, the fucking Joe Exotic. He looks... looking really Joe Exotic-esque nowadays. Just real fat.
Boy. That's rough. Yeah. I remember a little while there when China Syndrome or whatever it was.
Chinese Democracy
came out. Like, he looked like Billy Corbin.
Dude, there's actually some really good shit in Chinese Democracy. Like, when it came out, we didn't really know what the fuck to do with it as consumers because, we waited 15 years, and when it finally dropped...
Yeah, but the only thing from Guns N' Roses was fucking Axl.
Right, but, I mean, I didn't really give the album a chance. I always had planned to listen to it, but I just never did.
I've never listened to it, honestly.
There's a song in there where he hits the cleanest, highest note he has ever produced. The song is called IRS. And, buddy, yeah, it's fucking awesome. He absolutely ripped the planet off when he busted the band up the way he did. They had a lot left in them.
Was Buckethead still with him?
Yeah. But dude, he had so many different guitarists on the album. You can't even credit it to any
one
single group.
Yeah. That's what I think is kind of weird about that.
It's mud. The album is mud. But damn, that one song, it's a clean fucking note, dude. I'll have to show it to you. It's so clean.
I'll have to give it a listen.
Like, the rest of the song I don't really give a fuck about, to be honest with you. But that note is incredible.
It was something.
But yeah, that's me griping.
Fair enough. I mean, I still think that Slash and Miles Kennedy should keep it up.
Absolutely.
What they did, even their covers, when they would cover Guns N' Roses song.
Amazing.
What's that one song? It's not Sweet Child of Mine.
Paradise City? Welcome to the Jungle.
That one was really good. Paradise City they did was really good. They did an acoustic. They did an acoustic set. That the whole fucking set was just amazing.
I think they had a song called Starlight that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
That was their push. But I feel like there was a much better song in that album. I can't bring it to mind right now.
I can't either, but the whole album was good though.
But when Guns N' Roses got back together, they did Velvet Revolver songs.
Really?
They did fucking Sliver.
That's what it was.
Scott Weiland.
When Miles Kennedy and Slash were doing it, they did some Velvet Revolver songs. Like they did She Builds Fast Machines, and they did a Slither. They did the other one that got real big there, and that I can't remember the name of now, but it was fucking beautiful. Slash playing acoustic guitar, and it still sounds like Slash, and it's just beautiful.
It's hard to imagine any track where Miles Kennedy doesn't sound amazing.
That
guy has got a fucking incredible voice.
You put those two together, and it's just a match made in heaven.
Fuck, dude, so good. Even their bass player could sing like fuck.
Yeah, he was doing some great backing vocals. Well, I mean, because that whole band was basically Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
It was Slash featured
Miles Kennedy and the Co-Conspirators.
Yeah, which was basically Alter Bridge.
Yeah. Minus, Creed, dude.
Was, fuck, what was it? Scott? No, it wasn't
Century. What the fuck is that guy's name? He's a fantastic guitarist.
I couldn't tell you.
God damn it. Now I have to look it up.
One of these days, this podcast might get off and we'll get us a Jamie.
Ain't it? Fucking Mark Tremonti.
Yeah, he was a pretty good guitar player.
Yeah, Brian Marshall played bass, and Scott Williams played Scott Phillips played drums. So now let's look at the Co-Conspirators. Miles Kennedy and the Co-Conspirators members. Miles Kennedy, Brent Fitz on drums, Todd Kim's on bass. Yeah, it's not Alter Bridge at all.
Oh. Well, I had my information wrong then.
You silly goose. But yeah, that Todd Kearns dude, he can sing like fuck. He's pretty badass. He's a singing bass player. His name is Todd Dammit Kearns. They call him Dammit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I remember that. But yeah. I want to hear more Miles Kennedy regardless.
Yeah, that guy's just too good to not do more.
That whole first Alter Bridge album was fucking amazing.
It was.
Blackbird. Hang on. What the fuck? What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's chasing after the cat.
Jesus. Stop. Behave yourself. Sorry.
Fucking cats.
Damn it. So unprofessional.
Oh well.
Get it together. I'm trying to get a fucking scholarship in here.
A scholarship to what? Asshole University?
Yeah. But yeah, fucking musical stuff. So I've been laying down some tracks and shit recently. I told you.
Yeah, you sent me one. I did not get a chance to listen to it yet.
You punk ass bitch.
That's me.
Look at you. But it's honestly not all that great.
I don't know. You showed me that Wolf song a couple days ago. That was pretty good.
Yeah?
What song did you send me?
Forgive Me Not. That one that I also wrote.
I don't think I've heard that one.
It's I recorded Forgive Me Not, The Wolf, Feel This Way, and The Garden.
Yeah.
And Forgive Me Not just was the best recording. Excuse me. The best recording out of them.
Yeah. We wrote The Garden together.
We did. Yeah. We gotta lay that bitch down.
Yeah.
With a metronome.
Yeah. Timekeeping was not our proficiency.
Yeah. We'll just do it with a metronome, and then we'll pay some guy from Fiverr to put a drum
fill on there.
Yeah. Fucking. But yeah, the one I sent to you, it's the one that starts in B and goes to D and then ends in A.
Uh-huh.
B, D, A minor. Over and over and over.
Yeah, I think I remember you showing me that one.
Down.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Very, very Nickelback-y song.
Yeah.
Got that post-grunge.
You could tell we were listening to a lot of Nickelback back in the day.
Dude, I don't know why they get so much smoke.
I don't either. It's like them and Guy Fieri. What's the problem?
Yeah, like, leave them alone. It doesn't matter how hard you make fun of them. It's not going to make their goddamn mansions disappear. You know what I mean?
Because both of those people and, well, that guy and those band, they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, you know, for while we're here, while I have this platform, I'll just stand on it. Guy Fieri, okay, he gives popcorn machines to underprivileged schools so they can do fucking fundraising. How does that make him a bad guy? Just because he wears his sunglasses on the back of his head and has spiky hair. all you people call him a douchebag.
Yeah.
But I don't see any of you guys doing anything.
Yeah, you need to
like
point all that hatred where it belongs. It fucking... What's that guy's name?
Hillary Clinton?
No, that guy. Fucking... Who's that dude who was in all those action movies in the 80s? And now he walks around pretending to be a cop.
Oh, shit.
God damn it.
I could have told you if you hadn't asked me.
Fucking goofy ass dude. His eyes are always half closed.
Yeah, Tom Segura's always talking about him.
Yeah.
He speaks like he thinks he knows Japanese and Spanish. And
It says retarded shit.
he's like, ¿Cómo estás?
What is his name?
Me head queso. Shit.
Fucking...
You know, he's still making movies.
Yeah, I bet he is.
They are god-awful.
Oh...
Oh, my God. What is his name?
I don't even know how to look him up. I don't know anything
It's not Rob Van Dam. It's, shit. Tom Segura makes fun of him all the time.
Oh, shit. Goofy guy from old action movies.
Thinks is cop.
Thinks is cop. Boom. Damn it. Marshall.
Look up celebrity cops.
Martial arts actors.
Yeah, he invented, or he brought Aikido to the U.S.
Aikido.
Which is not a real
Steven
martial
Seagal.
art. Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Oh my God, that guy.
That fucking dude.
That guy is such a meme.
Yeah. He fucking... I saw a video the other day on him. Fucking...
Oh yeah?
There's a video of him looking at a guitar and he was like, whenever I see a guitar, I like to check it out because I'm a serious player. I seriously play guitar.
Yeah, and then he holds it up and plays it with his thumb.
Yeah. And he goes from one note to another note.
Yeah, you know he has a band too, right?
Does he play those two notes over and over?
Basically. It's pretty bad to watch.
A B Bender would change his life.
Yeah, then he could add 3 notes in there.
Yeah. Or no, it's just fucking... He could play guitar without even using... The only thing he needs his left hand for is to just move the neck.
Yeah.
That's it. Ban it.
Jesus. Have you seen, speaking of Tom Segura, he and Bert Kreischer did like dance battle videos a couple years ago. And Tom's is fucking hilarious. It's him dressed up as Steven Seagal dancing to a Missy Elliott song. And the beginning of the video starts with these girls, and they're sitting in a warehouse watching Bert's dance video. And they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe his wife fucks him. Like, isn't he just so fat and racist? Like, I'm pretty sure he's racist. And they're like, Tom Segura, show this fool up. And he's like, yeah, I've been dancing for like 25 years. And then he just busts into a Missy Elliott song. And then at the end of it, he gets this guy who is just really fat, and they take Bert's picture of his face and superimpose it on this guy. And Bert's like, hey, I was just kidding. You're my best friend. And then he pulls out a knife and starts stabbing him. Oh, and the fat guy, he's wearing a white shirt that says machine.
Machine!
And he's eating a bucket of KFC chicken.
There you go. Bert Kreischer, everybody.
Yep. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Machine yet?
I have not.
I haven't either. I wanted to go see it in theater because it seemed like it would be a good experience.
Yeah.
But I'm also poor and don't do that often.
Anytime I go to the movies now, I got to watch a horror movie. Because the only time I ever go to the movies is if we're using my lady's free pass. She's in the whatever club where you get to see a free movie.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, she liked horror movies, so we watch horror movies.
It'd
Some of
be
them
that
pretty
way.
good. We watched the new Insidious movie. That fucking piece of garbage.
I just never could get into those things.
I liked the first two. They were good.
Yeah.
This one, it was stupid. It was so stupid. There was not even an original story involved. She's like, oh yeah, the son grew up and he's having trouble and we solved the trouble. It's gone. There wasn't even a new demon. Same demon from the second movie.
No.
Fucking ukulele listening to, motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
Same guy.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
The last scary movie that actually scared me was the first, what was the name of those movies? They were like found footage, and it was this family, and they came upon a demon started possessing them.
Paranormal Activity?
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. I like the found footage movies. They're pretty good.
Yeah, the first like 2 or 3 of those movies scared the shit out of me.
Because if you're just a naive enough teenager, you might, for a second, think they're real.
I mean, I always knew they weren't real, so it wasn't like, oh my God, that's going to happen to me. I'm so terrified.
I remember when I watched the Blair Witch Project for the first time, I for 100% thought it was real. I was like 12.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the time. That's the age.
That's like, oh my fucking God!
Yeah.
They got lost! They ran out of cigarettes! Fuck! Where's the map?
That was probably the only good M. Night Shyamalan movie.
That was M. Night Shyamalan?
Oh, yeah, that was his big debut.
Oh, my God, dude. I watched an M. Night Shyamalan movie the other day, and God damn it, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not watching any more fucking M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Which one was it?
Fuck, it was the one where Batista and these 2 other people...
Oh, yeah, the cabin or something.
Yeah, they go out to the cabin. It was like a night in the cabin or something.
I debated on watching that one, and I was like, you know what? I've been hurt so many times.
Dude.
I'm not going to watch another one of his stupid movies.
There's no closure. There's no closure involved in the movie.
No.
So, like, do you know the premise of the movie?
Yeah, so, like, these random people get brought together because they have to kill one member of this family to stop the apocalypse,
They're
basically.
having visions on what's going to happen. Like, there's 4 of them. It's 2 men and 2 women. Fucking, what's his name? Rupert Grant is in it. Ron Weasley.
Yeah.
He plays a redneck from Massachusetts. And he don't sound like he's American. Dude, fucking Rupert Grant, whatever his name is. He's got 2 speeds. You got a party mouth. And Manchester. Those are his 2 speeds. He uses both of them in the movie.
What the fuck?
Yeah. There's tons of places where they should have reshot it.
Yeah.
Because he pronounces it like he's from London, but he's supposed to be this real rough and tough customer, Southern feller wearing button-ups, cowboy boots.
This is one of those scenarios. Like, I saw somebody debating on, like, Tucker Carlson or something the other day. I can't remember which one it was. And it was a dwarf, and I say dwarf because that's what he said he wanted to be called, who was debating some super left-wing guy about, like...
Snow White?
It was brought up. So the super left-wing guy was like, only gay and trans people should be playing gay and trans roles in Hollywood. And the midget...
God damn it, what did you just say, boy? We're putting this on the YouTubes now.
the dwarf fella.
He doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck. I promise.
He probably doesn't. And according to Brad Williams, midget it just rolls off the tongue better. It's like
it's just
you say it with a French accent, and it becomes like my midget. It's like something you have.
Yeah. And it's not derogatory. You're just explaining you're just making sure the person across from you knows that you're talking about a person with that syndrome.
Look, I'll pander a little bit and say, because he wanted to be called a dwarf, I should have called him a dwarf.
Yeah, it's not like you called him a bleep.
Yeah,
that'll get bleeped for sure.
Yeah, the dwarf fella was like, okay, well, how come when they made Snow White, they didn't use fucking dwarfs? That's our role. That's our characters. Yeah. You took that from us.
Yep.
Because they used regular-sized people.
Snow White and the 7 magical creatures. One of them was a dwarf. And Snow White weren't white. Like, what? I don't understand what the point of that film was. What they're doing. What the point of it is at all.
I don't really know. Other than to just piss off short people.
Yeah, who's it for? Like... assumedly it's for children, but it's got a lot of adult politics in it.
Yeah.
If it's for kids in the first place.
Well, you're talking about Snow White and the Huntsman, right?
No, the new one.
They made another one?
Yeah. Like, the whole bitching about it is, so, like, Disney announced they were going to redo Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs in live action.
Uh-huh.
Like they have been doing with all the rest of their properties.
Yeah.
And Peter Dinklage, Tyrion Lannister himself.
Arguably the most famous dwarf of all time.
The GOAT. He said, it's still an ass-backwards story about dwarves. And he was saying it was derogative and all this and that.
Uh-huh.
And that it shouldn't feature dwarves. It's called Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And because he said that, Disney said, well, we're not going to feature any dwarves. It's going to be Snow White and the 7 magical creatures. And then all the other actors that are dwarves that are not Peter Dinklage were like, what the fuck, Peter Dinklage? We're going to get those roles, and now we don't get them because of you.
You know what else? Something I just thought about. The whole Hobbit series, those are normal-sized actors. Those were literal dwarves.
Yeah.
Their race is dwarven.
Yeah.
Not a one of them was a dwarf.
Yeah, that's fair. But, honestly, if you put an actual dwarf in that place, that seems more offensive to me. Because Lord of the Rings is, like, the races in that universe are different.
I mean, yeah, it's more like D&D where, dwarves are a legitimate race, whereas in the real world, somebody with dwarfism has a condition.
Yeah, they're a conditioned human.
Yeah.
There's not a race of dwarves.
I mean, I guess when you put it that way, I can understand that. But at the same time, when you have Snow White and the 7 dwarves, throw a dog a bone.
Yeah.
Give the dwarven guys some acting creds.
Fucking with the fucking dwarves. Now Hornswoggle ain't got no fucking thing to do. Are you kidding me? Taking food off his goddamn table. Peter Dinklage. Reel it back, Tyrion. You're not the fucking president of dwarves.
That's the Lannister in him.
Yeah. He overstepped a little bit there. He didn't think about what he was saying. He's since, I believe, retracted his statements.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he really fucked that up for all of his kin.
Yeah.
The people that you'd imagine he'd be
friends with.
Yeah, if there's anybody who understands his struggle, it's them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Strange.
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what else? Something I've been watching lately. There's a new show out called Twisted Metal.
Aha.
It's pretty fucking good.
Oh, it's a show. I thought you were saying it was a sequel to a game. Or game sequel.
Well, it's based in that universe with a lot of the characters from the video game. So there's Sweet Tooth, the crazy clown. There's the cop. Because, there was a clown.
So wait. Let's go back.
There was a cop. There was...
Twisted Metal was a video game.
Yes, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I remember the first one came out on the OG PlayStation, PlayStation 1. And then it had a couple come out on like PlayStation 2. And I think maybe the N64. I'm not entirely sure. I can't recall. It was a pretty good game. Like, it was, you know how like Battle Royale video games have gotten super duper popular now?
Didn't they have... Am I imagining this, or was there a fucking South Park character in one of those games?
I don't know. South Park did do... There was a non-licensed South Park game that was very similar. But I don't think there was a specific South Park character in there.
Oh. I just remember... Maybe it was just... I remember my uncle. I had a little uncle. He was a step uncle. He was younger than I was. Fucking, he had a. I remember he played Twisted Metal all the time in his room. And I remember anytime we played Twisted Metal, I'd always hear Cartman because I think he'd take it out after a while and start playing South Park.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah. So it's like Car Battle Royale was the video game where, you know, you pick a character, you fight with them against other characters in the game and stuff. You could play with your friends. You know, it was pretty fun. I played it back in the day.
I remember that one character. I already told you I remembered him. The character, it's
the guy in the wheel. It was just a guy, like he was nailed to a cross, but he's in between two giant tires.
Yeah, he's his own axle, basically.
Yeah, basically. That was a weird one. I didn't understand that. I remember using that guy some and getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
My guy was always Sweet Tooth, the clown. He had rockets and other cool stuff that you could do. And then Sweet Tooth actually wound up being like the big boss in the subsequent games after that.
Nice.
And his hair was on fire and stuff. It was cool.
It is pretty cool.
So like he's in the show too, though. So the show is based around this character who's played by he's the black guy from the Avengers. He was like the Hawk or something other like that.
Oh, you're talking about Falcon.
Yeah. It was Michael something other.
Michael, motherfucker. If you hadn't said it, I could have told you. It's not Michael. Is it Michael B. Jordan?
No, not Michael B. Jordan. It's he's the older fella. Not older. Not Iron Man's sidekick guy, like
Captain America's buddy. The new Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're talking.
It's him. He is a milkman, and a milkman. So in this universe, to explain what the milkman is, you have to understand the rest of the universe a little bit. So the world has gone to shit. It's complete apocalypse. They don't really explain what happened. They just say the world went to shit.
The grid went down.
Yeah, basically. And so these towns and cities and stuff became their own little governments, basically, and they all put walls up. And everything in between there is just the wasteland where you could get all kinds of fucked up. And so what a milkman's job is basically like a postman. He picks up packages from one place, takes them to another. And new Captain America is one of those milkmen, and he has a souped up Subaru with all kinds of guns and stuff on it, and he makes these treks across from one city to the next.
That's a pretty cool premise.
Yeah. And so hijinks ensue. He winds up picking up this girl who she was in one of these towns. She was in Orange County, which was one of these towns that, you know, barred themselves off, and it was really fucked up what she had to go through. She got her middle finger cut off.
Fuck.
And so in Orange County, they were wearing... They had these contracts that you could do to be able to get into the city. And once you fulfilled the contract after it was like 4 years, then you can become a resident and you can have property and stuff there, which is actually not how that worked. They just usually worked you to death. And so it became real popular for the people that owned these people with these contracts to like cut off body parts, like their fingers and their ears. And there was one girl that had her nose cut off and toes. People were missing toes. And they would wear them as jewelry.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's real fucked up. And so she and her brother escaped from that. And then they got kind of cornered by this rogue lawman who is trying to impose his own will upon the country to bring it back to order, as he puts it. And new Captain America guy happens to show up while this is happening, and they kind of escape together. And then more hijinks ensue. They wind up going to Las Vegas and meeting Sweet Tooth, who is just this fucking psycho. But he wants to put on like a play and have fans and stuff. And it kind of gives you some of his backstory as you go through the show. He was like a child actor, and he was overshadowed by a dog on a sitcom. And so he killed the dog, and his parents put him in a psych ward for the rest of his time there until the world went to shit and the bars opened, and he became Sweet Tooth. They meet Sweet Tooth, and he's in Las Vegas, and he's trying to kill Captain America initially. But he's like, hey, if you come to my show, you could leave after if you survive. And so the guy goes to the show, and he's like, wow, that was... And the girl pipes up as he's like trying to fake come up with like good things to say about the show, and the girl's like, that was dog shit. And instead of being mad, Sweet Tooth is like, this is actually... Like, you're the first person that's ever actually given me honest feedback. I really appreciate that. Like, that's so cool of you. Yeah.
So they survived because she was like, you suck.
Yeah, so he took that criticism and was like, that's really honest of you. I really appreciate that.
Did he try to kill her?
No, not after that.
It's kind of fucking hilarious. What's this on?
It's on Peacock.
Yeah, we got Peacock. I'm going to watch it.
You should definitely watch it. I haven't finished it yet.
It'd be nice to have something, Peacock for a reason other than The Office.
Yeah, you should watch that. And there's another one called Killing It that I'm only a couple episodes in, but it's really freaking good too.
That's a cartoon, isn't it?
No, it's live action. It's Craig Robinson. You know who that is?
No, who is
He's you remember in This Is the End, the black guy?
Oh, Craig
Take
Robinson!
your panties off!
Yeah, Craig.
So Craig Robinson is he's a divorced dad, and he's living in Miami in like 2016, and he's got all these crazy schemes that he's been trying to get off the ground, but he's trying to do everything the right way. He's trying to be honorable and stuff. He doesn't want to do it in a fucked up way like his brother, who's a degenerate. And so what he wants to do, he wants to start a farm for saw palmetto plants, which apparently the berries you can use to shrink the prostate. And so, yeah. It's really hilarious. He goes to the bank, and he's got this pitch, and I can kind of remember the pitch a little bit. And he's like, imagine you're the banker. I'm Craig Robinson. I was like, all right. It's 4 a.m. in Miami. I'm wide awake. Why is that? Am I at the bar? At the clubs? Do I rise with the European markets? No. I have to pee. Like most men from 40s, 50s, and 60s and even up, I have an enlarged prostate. And because of that, I have to get up 3 times a night to piss. If only there was something that would help me without having to go through serious medical treatment to shrink my prostate. And then every time, once he gets right around there, they always start cutting him off so you don't get the rest of the thing. But the basis is he wants $20,000 so he can go start this farm. And so he gets denied. Finally, somebody overheard some of the pitch, and they're like, okay, I'll give you a chance. And so he starts to get ready, and he goes outside, and his car is on fire.
Jesus.
Yeah. So he calls up an Uber because apparently that's more important than your car being on fire. And this Australian woman comes up in what he thought was supposed to be a Mercedes, because he's got a suit on and stuff. He's going to a legitimate business meeting.
Why is his car on fire?
I forgot to mention. So he was renting his apartment out as a sublet kind of thing to make a little extra money because he got fired from his previous job because his brother robbed it. He was a security guard at a bank.
Oh, my God.
And his brother was hyping him up, saying, you should go in there, close the door, and tell him to give you that loan. And when he did that, his brother came in and robbed the bank.
Fuck me. God damn it. Dude, I have to see this show.
It's hilarious. It's called Killing It.
That sounds fucking fantastic.
And so after his brother robs the bank and he gets fired because he didn't do his job as securing the bank, he starts living in his car so he can rent out his apartment to make a little extra money on the side. And so there's a scene where his ex-wife comes up with his daughter and is like, hey, I need you to take our daughter to school. And he gets kind of caught making breakfast. And so he eventually kind of comes clean to his ex-wife, and they're walking up to his apartment to get his suit so he can go to this business meeting and stuff. And they open the door, and the guy that he was renting it to is on all fours getting butt fucked by a dominatrix.
Wham!
And
the old walking in on a dominatrix bit. Huh?
Yeah, well, they're filming it for porn.
Ah, the old pornographic dominatrix pegging you bit, huh?
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? You know, he freaks out and stuff. He gets his suit finally, and he goes downstairs, and the car's on fire because he left the George Foreman grill on that he was making his breakfast with.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So he calls up an Uber, and it's supposed to be Jillian G with a Mercedes, you know, because Uber tells you what kind of car they're coming up with. And this chick rolls up with a Ford Taurus station wagon from 1996.
With the wood panels?
With the wood panels.
Those are rare and expensive.
This one was not. And she's towing a trailer with a billboard on it.
What? Oh.
Yeah. It's like a secondary
She
job.
sells ad space.
Yeah.
What's it say?
It doesn't. I don't remember. It's some like lawyer or something other like that. That's not really integral to the story.
That is actually kind of brilliant.
Yeah. And the Ford Taurus has a Mercedes emblem on the front of it. So anyway, she starts taking him to this business meeting. It's out where he wants to get the farm started and stuff because the guy wants to see the property. And on the way out there, Jillian with a J, whatever, the chick sees a python on the side of the road, and she's like, "Oh, hold on, I got to do this real quick." And she jumps out of the car with a hammer and kills the snake.
This is in Florida?
This is in Florida. You know, they got a big python problem down there.
Gonna say, I knew it was Florida because of the python.
Yeah. And Craig Robinson's like freaking out, like she's just killing this thing on the side of the road, and it's this giant snake, and she's like, "Hey, I know this is kind of weird, but can you help me get this thing in the car?" And then he's freaking out, going, "No, I'm not fucking touching that thing." So she just kind of like gets it in there and stuff. Well, the snake's not dead, and it's sitting in the seat right next to him in the back of the car, and it starts attacking him and stuff. He gets covered in blood, and he winds up killing it by shoving its head in the window and closing the window. And they're sitting there on the side of the road, and he's like, "Man, I can't go to my business meeting like this. I'm asking for money and stuff. Like, I look fucking terrible." And she's like, "Well, I got some clothes back here." And so they go to the billboard, which is like an A-frame. She sleeps in the billboard.
Wow.
Yeah. And she gives him her graduation gown. This bright gold yellow graduation gown.
Dude, this is just like that movie. You ever seen My Boss's Daughter? The Ashton Kutcher movie from the early 2000s?
Was it with not Eddie Murphy, Bernie Mac?
I can't remember. But Ashton Kutcher is like, he's interested in his boss's daughter. He's dating her. He didn't know he was dating his boss's daughter. And then his boss is going away on a trip and asks him and his daughter to look after the house while he's gone. Or she asked her daughter to look after the house while he was gone, and she said, "Yeah, me and my boyfriend will look it over." And he shows up, and it's his boss. And his boss knows his face, and he's like, if there's anything out of line here, you're fucking fired. You know, giving him the business. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. The guy's got an owl, like a very rare owl in a cage that he loves dearly. The owl gets out. Burglars appear, thinking that the rich guy has left home and it's right for the picking.
Uh-huh.
And they break in, they break all kinds of things, they destroy this beautiful kitchen. Yeah, the daughter, he ends up ruining his chances with the daughter. Like, the whole time he's trying to hide everything bad that's happening from her, so she don't tell her dad. And he's just blocking her off from whole sections of the house. Fucking the guy's son, you know, his girlfriend's brother shows up. You know, he's disgruntled and pissed because he got cut out of the will, and he's there to break into the safe and take all the money.
Oh shit!
Fucking, it just gets worse and worse. They're busting up walls trying to find money, and Ashton Kutcher's just trying to keep everything. He's just a good guy, just trying to be a good guy, you know, just trying to do his due diligence. And it gets worse and worse, and the owl shows back up and fucking eats some poison and dies.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and fucking has like one last little death burst and flies towards the front door, and it opens, and there's the boss. Fucking owl hits him in the face.
Fuck.
It just builds and builds and builds. It is terrible. It is probably the reason why movies like that are probably the reason for like the vast majority of anxiety issues across our generation. It's just
probably that and Meet the Fockers.
Oh my god, that was another one of those.
Or Meet the Family was the first one.
I don't remember. All I remember is,
are you gonna milk me, Fokker?
Yeah. Did you see the video where the voice actors from Dragon Ball Z they were just doing famous lines from other videos? Oh my god, it was hilarious. They had fucking the Chris Sabat, who does the voice of Vegeta and Piccolo. He gave, you know, they put Meet the Fockers on screen. And it was Ben Stiller. Yeah, they gave him the voice of Piccolo, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can milk anything with nipples." And then the dad was Vegeta's like, "I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?" It was fucking amazing. It was so good. They did scenes from all kinds of shit. They had the guy who does the voice of Frieza be Hannibal Lecter.
Oh God.
Talking about eating brains with a nice Shantae, yeah. Anyway. He did the thing.
Oh God. That movie is so fucking weird.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was great. You got to see that. I'm going to show you that before you leave here.
All right.
That was fucking hilarious. Like 5 minutes of them just being fantastic.
That just sounds hilarious.
It's so good.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to watch Twisted Metal and fucking Killing It.
And I think we hit all the topics.
Yeah, I think we did.
Oh, we didn't touch on D&D.
Oh no, we didn't. How dare we?
How dare we? Okay, so I don't even remember if we updated the last game. Oh yeah, we talked about the dragon attack and all.
Yeah, that was the last thing that we did.
Yeah.
Because the last podcast we did was also, I think, the last D&D game we had.
Yeah. We never... So, spoiler alert, we never revisited that game.
Nope.
Yeah, things got in the way. Stuff happened.
Life happened.
Yeah. And when I got back here and we were like, oh, we could finish the game, I elected... I made a managerial decision to not do that. It just seemed like... At this point in my life, number one, you know, I was getting settled in here with my lady friend and, you know, trying to make everything work. And, you know, I would really benefit from a new chapter, from the starting of something new, instead of just trying to go back to what was after all I'd experienced. But, yes. So I spoiled it for everybody. Gave everybody the ending. If you want to know what happened Send me a text message because I don't remember right this minute. It's been a minute.
It was kind of a lot. There was a lot of loose ends that,
yeah,
that exposition wrapped up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure John filled Tammy in. Sorry, Tammy.
Yeah. I don't think she really cared that much about what happened in our D&D games for the most part.
How dare you suggest such blasphemy?
Blaspheme.
Tammy is the only person who is interested. Fucking, she got her a free T-shirt too.
She did. Yeah, we got T-shirts.
Yeah, we got fucking goddamn
nose shirts.
Yeah, nose shirts. Well, no shirts are private.
Those are
only in the private sector. There are only 3 of those made, and therefore the goats.
Yep.
But
they might be worth something one day.
Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be so cool?
It would be cool.
This is only 3 of them ever got made.
Yep.
But yeah, we got T-shirts for I'm not going to work tomorrow. And if you're a 2X, let us know. Or a 3X.
I think that, they're all 3X.
Yeah.
Because we got them for a bunch of fat fucks.
Yeah. Fucking.
So I was recently in Savannah.
Yeah.
And I wore the nose shirt to the bar one night. Got a lot of compliments on that shirt.
Yeah?
It garnered a lot of attention. I kind of repped us out some.
How be goddamned.
Yeah.
They liked the nose shirt.
Yeah, I can't tell you, like, at least 4 or 5 people came up to me and was like, dude, that shirt is hilarious. I love it. And I was like, oh, well, if you like the shirt, you should listen to the podcast. And I'd fucking give them the spiel.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We should have put like, literally, something on the back.
Yeah, I was thinking about that very same thing. Because, it's just the logo. It's not.
At least we got a cool logo.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not too bad at making up logos.
Yeah,
I made the logo for Eads Custom Creations. Dude, I was so proud of that thing.
Yeah.
It was really pretty. The E and the 2 C's.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah. Shameless plug, Eads Custom Creations. If you want a knife, I'll probably make you one at some point.
He's on Etsy.
Yeah. I'm on
Look it
Etsy.
up.
But, shit. Where were we going? Oh, yeah. So if you want some I'm Not Going to Work Tomorrow merch, and you could wear a 3X.
Hit us up.
Yeah. We got, 3 for sale. Get them now while they last. Because they take about 6 months to fucking come through, apparently. Yeah, that was a long time. But
not to hate on the girl we got it from.
Oh, I mean,
she does good work.
It was excellent work. It just took a really fucking long time.
There's probably a place in town we could get to do that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to get it from Ohio.
That's a long. I didn't realize they were coming from Ohio.
Yeah, I want to be loyal as a customer.
Yeah,
but it's a long way and it was a long time.
Well, okay. To be fair, for the smaller orders, I feel like we should rep old girl. Because she does good work.
Yeah, I got tons of shirts. She made the shirt that I'm wearing.
There's nothing wrong with giving creators good business.
Yeah.
If we ever get into bigger orders, we may have to then change up. But until then,
I wonder how she did this. This looks inked.
It does.
That looks like it's just printed right on.
I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of techniques to do all kinds of stuff with that stuff.
Yeah, but ours, you can kind of see the material.
She could have soap screened it or something.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
She does great work.
It's a good shirt, and that's several years old at this point.
Oh, yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
2021.
Still looks good.
Yeah, and I have abused it. I've been working in this shirt.
Yeah, I've worn our shirt several times, washed it. It's still holding up pretty good.
I've washed mine once. I don't be leaving this fucking house, bro.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't leave my house for a week and a half straight.
Yeah, I've been wearing pajamas exclusively for the past month.
Really?
Only whenever I leave to go out to dinner, and I loathe the fucking event. I have been on a really depressed bender.
Yeah.
It looks depressed to me. I don't know if I actually am. I probably am. But I guess, any fella who's out of work is going to experience a little sloth.
Oh, yeah. I'm guilty of that.
Right.
The first week I was kind of just at home. I was getting a whole bunch of stuff done. And then as the time has progressed, I've done less and less.
As soon as that tank runs out of gas, one good time, It's really hard to convince it to take any more.
It is. You know.
I beat that notion a few times with Monster energy drinks.
Yeah.
If I drink a Monster and then, you know, begin one little project, I won't stop for like the next 6 hours.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't had the money to go buy a Monster lately.
Yeah, they all came from Caroline.
Yeah.
she brought home a box of Monsters because, you know, I was going to go on the Florida trip.
Yeah.
The Florida trip ruined a lot of shit.
Yeah, it did.
Because it fucking absolutely, it killed my production because I'm just sitting here waiting on a phone call. Just waiting.
That was it for me, too.
And then the text message we get is, sorry, boys, we're not going.
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody got hurt and stuff, but
Yeah.
it really fucking took a dump on a lot that I had going on.
Yeah, I was telling my wife about that. I was like, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword because on one hand, like, I was excited, you know, we was going to go make some money.
Oh, yeah, context. We were going to go, you know, there was a hurricane that came through Florida recently, and I belong to a regimen of workers that go and drive forklifts to provide things to people who might need it, like generators, outhouses, you know, outdoor showers,
general supplies and things,
pallets of food and water, things like that.
Yep, and he roped me into it.
Yeah, because homeboy needed, you know, some funds, and it pays really well. They pay you to mobilize, they pay you to demobilize, they pay you per diem. They compensate you for the risk.
Yep,
and you're going to be living on the road for until the mission's complete. You know.
Yep.
So. But you know, you could come home with like $30,000.
Yep.
You know, if you stay out there long enough.
So what I was telling the wife was like, this is a real double-edged sword because on one hand, I'm super freaking bummed that there wasn't a whole lot of destruction.
You feel so bad
for us to need to go out there, but at the same time, it's like I feel bad for wanting that because that would mean people died and stuff.
Yeah, like I'm glad nobody got hurt and that it wasn't that bad, but it just because. I think what burned my biscuits was that we got a text message saying, okay, guys, we are leaving on Monday. That's the text message I received. We are set to leave, to demobilize, or to mobilize and head towards
somewhere,
Florida, on Monday. We will, what's the word? Deploy.
Yeah.
We were set to deploy on Monday. I got this text message on Saturday. I was in the middle of D&D when I got the text, and I was like, oh, shit. Money. I get to go do a job. And so I packed a bag, fucking roped Wolfman into it, talked to the boss, and he was like, yeah, has he got experience driving a forklift? And I said, yes. And he said, okay, well, he's on the list. It's like, fucking A. Me and Wolfman get to go. Fucking save the world. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go make some money.
Yeah, save the world and fill our pockets. Let's do it.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah, and then, you know, we're sitting around for a solid week. Just waiting to be called to action.
I was literally glued to my phone.
Me too. Like, I couldn't sleep. I was so fucked up. It really ruined my sleeping pattern.
Yeah.
You know, because I just was so nervous that I might have to leave at any moment. And my anxiety was through the goddamn roof. I was afraid to go to sleep because I was afraid I wouldn't wake up to the text message. You know, and I'd miss 4 hours that I could have been spent driving.
Yeah.
And yeah, then when we get the text message, hey, sorry, we trip got called off due to lack of damage. And I get that it's classified and all, but it just seems like common courtesy would have been to shoot us a warning message like, hey, it's possible we may not go, something like that to take the edge off of that stress.
Yeah.
Because that was monumental, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was like
I was having to do some moving and shaking just to try and figure out how to get down there.
Yeah, dude. That was uncool. I was not happy with the way that went. And I apologize for involving you.
You know, it is what it is.
But yeah, the promise of riches was vast.
Yeah. You know, it was nice to at least feel like I had a purpose for a little bit there.
Yeah, getting some shit.
That's something. So I've been thinking about this. This is about to get kind of dark. Just a forewarning there. I've been thinking about this since I lost my job and stuff. You know, society kind of puts a lot on dudes that if you're not doing something, you don't really feel like you're worth something.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You feel
and
worthless.
that takes a toll on a fella.
It really does.
And, you know, I don't mean to say all this to take away from women's issues. I'm sure there's a myriad of things I'm not even aware of.
But, you know, what they are, what, like, new feminists and stuff are in opposition of, it's not as though they're the only victims of it. You know, the modern man is absolutely a victim of the way man has been portrayed for the past several hundred years. Like you were saying, a man who isn't working is appeared to be worthless.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
If you're not bringing something in, then you don't. You're basically might as well just not be there because you're just taking up space.
Right. If you aren't, and it doesn't even. And what's fucked up is that the people saying things like that likely have contributed much less than you have in your lifetime.
Yeah. Well, and see, I guess maybe the most fucked up thing is, like, my wife's been fairly supportive through this whole thing. She hasn't made me feel like I'm a piece of shit for it.
Mm-hmm. Same with my lady.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I'll be honest, I've been beating myself up.
Exactly.
There's not a whole lot somebody else could say that I haven't already said to myself.
Because we all have a family member or someone who we respect, and we know what they would say if they saw us.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, for me, it's really weird. I haven't not had a job since I was 17 years old.
Yep.
I have consistently, when I changed jobs, I left there on Friday and I went to work at the new place on Monday. You know, that's how I've always been. I've never had a lapse there like this.
I've had a few lapses, but most of them were, you know, during musical times when I was trying to make it work as a band, but most of that time was filled with smoking pot and shit.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a few times, like, honestly, the most worthless I ever felt was during the pandemic when I was drawing unemployment.
Yeah.
Fuck,
you were
dude.
Drawing unemployment during the pandemic?
I fought it. For the first 7 months, I wouldn't do it. I said, fuck no, I'm not drawing no fucking unemployment. I will struggle. And then my brother, Kevin, he found out that this was happening. He was like, I got a job at the Days Inn in Clanton, working the front desk.
Oof.
Making, it's part-time, it's minimum wage. I'm not making enough to fucking pay the rent.
No.
You know? And I'm living in Clanton in an apartment. The rent's like $300. And my piece of it, and that's everything.
Yeah.
The rent, the power, the water, the whole bit. My shit's like $300, and I couldn't do it.
That's a rough point.
And Kevin, my brother, was like, dude, what in the fuck is going on with you? You know they're paying like $800 a week for it's the pandemic, dude. You're not expected to do what you're doing. And I was like, but dude, I don't want to. He's like, dude, fuck what you want to do. There's not any jobs out there right now. You can't work. Yeah. Fucking take it. Like, if this is how it's going to be, fucking goddamn, dude, the system's taking advantage of you your entire life. Give it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't think they have... Because his reasoning to me was like, the system is fucking you in the chili ring every month over child support. That's the reason you can't make it. It's because of the child support. That's what's eating all of your check. And you are telling me you'd rather live in squalor than let Uncle Sam hold it down until the fucking shit, you know, goes back to working normally. So, if that's how you want it to be, you kind of deserve to be the way you are, you know? Fucking, you might as well just take what's given. And I took the advice, signed up for unemployment. There was no questions asked. I had $800 fucking dollars, and I had a lot of back pay.
Really?
Submitted. Like, I was eating Benton Dent food. I was drinking those 3 liters they sell, the cheap ones.
Oh, yeah, the Stars Cola or whatever from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, and they was expired. They was in Sandy's Benton Dent in Clanton. I bought a buggy full of them for $1 a piece. That's what I was drinking. And I was eating even cheaper ramen noodles that came from that same place.
Oh, boy.
That's how I was surviving.
It'd be that way.
It was rough. It was rough. This wasn't even all that long ago.
No, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. And yeah, that first check from unemployment came through. It was like $1,300. And I was like, whoops. Uh-oh.
It's filet mignon time.
I think we finna do some white trash shit. We finna go get some new tires.
He's a white trash millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking, we was eating SkettyOs from then on.
Yeah.
The new ones.
Hey, you know, I tried to get unemployment when I got let go here. Mm-hmm. They was going to give me $375 a week
For
unemployment.
But for how long?
Like, I don't know, 18 or 19 weeks or something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, well, I got denied.
For what?
I don't know. When you said they didn't ask no questions, they asked me a lot of questions.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be tough to get unemployment now after all of that shit.
Yeah, they're a lot more stingy about it.
Yeah. Well, they ought to be. Yeah. They shelled out a lot.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just my luck. A day late and a dollar short. But, yeah, no, they denied my ass.
That sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is, though.
But, you know, fucking, like, yeah. Those were actually some pretty good times after I finally...
After you bit the bullet?
Yeah, I swallowed the pride, accepted what I felt like was a handout. But realistically, you know, it was money we've already paid in. You pay into that shit.
I know. That's what kind of pissed me off.
They fucking deny you your own goddamn money that's supposed to help you out when you hit a hard time.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be able to deny you that shit for any fucking thing. And honestly, I do not feel bad about accepting it because my grandfather has paid for unemployment his entire fucking life, and they didn't even want to give him his goddamn Social Security.
Yeah.
That he's paid into his whole life. I hate that they can deny you.
That's some shit that kind of pisses me off because I've been paying in Social Security for the past I'm about to be 31, so almost 14 years I've been paying Social Security so far. And by the time you and I get to retirement age, there's not even a guarantee that shit's going to exist anymore. They've been robbing from Social Security for years.
Yep.
Basically ever since they put that shit into place.
Yeah, it's fucked up. That's not cool.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna pay for a service, the service should be fucking available to me.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, they've been pushing it back in age. It used to be 62. Then they put it at like 64. Now it's 65 and a half.
Yeah, that's some horse shit.
By the time we get
65 and a half, just so maybe if you die so they don't have to pay for 6 months of it.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll die in that first 6 months of being 65. What fucking monsters.
That's some bullshit.
It's awful.
Because the money, this is another thing that kind of pisses me off. The money's not real anymore, man.
It's not.
No.
You sound like the dude. Money's not real anymore, man. That's just your opinion, man.
Well, I know it sounds cliche, but that's the truth, man.
It's true.
It's
always been true.
Ever since Nixon took us off the gold standard, money means nothing. It's all it is the promise of that continuing. Mm-hmm. Like the only reason money still exists is because we think it means something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's just something that we said has value, so that's why it has value.
So you can trade it for things that you actually find valuable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I always start my stories when I saw a YouTube video. That's all I fucking do is watch
YouTube certified, bud.
Yeah. There's this guy talking about, just money in general.
Uh-huh.
Our barter system. Or what is it called, the barter system?
When you trade something for something?
No. Now that we've got money.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of system is it called?
I'm not entirely sure.
No.
It's for all intents and purposes, we'll call it a currency system.
Yeah. The currency system or whatever. That's always been taught in most schools that, before currency there was trade. We had barter systems where we would trade goods for other goods. But this guy went into a really, really in-depth, he really worked at this as probably as like a college project or whatever. But he seemed pretty genuine, and he put a lot of work into the video, so I'm inclined to believe his, research.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't find, like, any references or any proof that there was ever a simple barter system in place at any point in history. Like,
not a widespread. I mean, of course, there's always going to be some kind of trade, but
well, he's saying like the barter. What he's saying is that there likely was never a full-on trade this for that system.
Yeah.
There's always been currency. Like, as far back as written history goes, we've had something we traded for stuff.
Yeah.
That wasn't actually valuable.
I mean, even like the Native Americans, to keep it kind of close to home, they found shiny rocks that they found valuable. Or, somebody made arrowheads, that they found valuable. Or the materials they made arrowheads out of, that was their currency. They would find gold, or they would find, precious gems, even in raw form. That's what they used as currency.
Beads, I think they called them.
They had beads of varying types and stuff, And
their rarity is what made them valuable.
Yeah, and as far back as the Sumerians, we just had that whole, the last podcast we did was me regaling you with the tale of Gilgamesh,
Did you hear that theory? So I know we talked about the moon might be hollow. Uh-huh. We've had that on the podcast.
Yeah.
I saw a follow-up theory that proposes that, the reason there's a missing link between humans and everything else on the planet, and why we're so different and so weird from everything else, like we're the only mammal that sweats. We have strange traits. We're wildly different than everything else on this planet.
Yeah, we walk upright. We're mostly hairless, and our dicks don't have a bone.
Yeah. It's likely that, like Neanderthal and the other things that were here before, like the aliens, produced hybrids of them, and the locals closest, and, embedded a lots of traits into them for future harvestation. You make... So... Say your spaceship runs on gold.
You're telling the story of the Anunnaki.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
they just said that they made it so that we like all this shiny shit, so that when they finally come back, it'll all be in one place because we've dug it all up. Yeah. And they just take it and go.
So the Sumerian religion is based around the Anunnaki, which were their gods. They came from the heavens. I think I broke this down last time, where Anu is of the sky and Ki is of the earth.
Yeah.
So they bridge the gap between the heavens and the earth. They came down originally. There's theories and all kinds of things abound that they came here and mated with the locals and made hybrids to mine gold and stuff for them, because they needed to take it back to their home world that crosses paths with us every 60,000 years or so, or 6,000 years, something other like that. It was 6 and some zeros. And they created us to mine the gold for them so they could take it back to their planet, because they needed the gold to reflect the sun's rays, because they had burned up their atmosphere. So they were going to release gold particles into the atmosphere to help reduce the amount of UV radiation that they were receiving that was destroying their planet, basically.
So you reckon... So what if we got taken off the gold standard because...
The aliens need the gold.
They took it all. There ain't no gold. Wouldn't that be fun?
Mind blown.
Fuck you, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. How about that for a fucking mystery box?
Suck on that fucking plot twist. You goddamn non-closure giving fuck! That movie sucked! The best thing about it was Dave Bautista. He's a saint. Give that man an Oscar. It's goddamn. That movie sucked. It blew chunks.
Yeah. Did you watch Old?
No.
It was another M. Night Shyamalan. Don't watch it. It's... So the movie's based around this couple. They go to this retreat like in Hawaii or something or other like that. And they get there, and the service is all amazing. And this guy that's like the head of the hotel comes down and tells them, like, hey, there's this really special thing that we only do for a few people. If you would like to be a part of it, sign here. We'll put you on the shuttle and take you down there. And it's this super private beach. And so they get there, the shuttle takes them there, they drop off. There's them, it's a family of 4, so there's mom, dad, and 2 kids. And there's a couple other families and individuals and stuff. And they go down to the beach, and do you want me to just spoil it for you?
I'm not going to watch anymore. M. Night Shyamalan.
I don't suggest you watch it. It's a really fucking stupid movie. So they get down there, and they're having a good time and stuff. And as the day kind of progresses, weird shit starts to happen. There's a dead body that floats up onto the beach, and it turns out to be the girlfriend of this rapper that was there as well. And her body is just in this weird state. They can't really... It's hard for me to describe it, but it's like it's decayed for months. But
they just saw her.
They just saw her that morning, and now she's dead, and it looks like she's been dead for a while. And so more weird shit starts happening, and one of the kids that was with the family, he kind of comes up, and he's all of a sudden like much taller. Basically what is happening is the beach is this weird time vortex, and it's progressing everything. And the kid that they saw originally get taller, him and there was another girl, like a young girl, probably like 5 or 6. She all of a sudden, they both become teenagers. They do what teenagers do, and they kind of go off and they fuck. Well, and they come back like 20 minutes later, and she's fucking 9 months pregnant.
Jesus.
Yeah, she has the baby right there on the beach like 10 minutes later. So all this time skipping is going on. Everybody's getting older and older and older and stuff. And eventually they start dying, and they try to figure out how to get out. They try to go back the same way they came in. They can't get out that way. They try to climb. And eventually everybody dies.
The end.
Not quite. There's a little bit of exposition at the end there that M. Night Shyamalan has coined the secret box. Mm-hmm. Every movie he has a quote-unquote secret box that's like a big surprise twist at the end. Mm-hmm. So it turns out that the facility that's putting on these vacations and stuff for these people is doing this experiment on purpose. They discovered this anomaly on this beach, and they're watching people. So what they're doing is they're drugging their drinks when they get there with these different medications. All these people that come there have some sort of disease that science right now has no cure for, or they're in the process of making a cure. So they're doing rapid experiments, what would take tens of years to accomplish, in the matter of an afternoon. And so they're watching these people and seeing if their conditions get better or if they don't get better, and so they could test the medicines.
Well, at least it sounds like there was closure in that one.
A little bit, but it's still... like everybody fucking died.
Yeah.
Like there's no closure for them.
It's not a good movie.
You just get a little...
What pisses me off?
I
bitched for an hour and a half about that cabin movie with Batista in it. Fucking... What was so fucking infuriating was that it was a compelling premise.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty compelling. You got these 4 individuals. They had these visions. They see what's going to happen. They're just normal ass people. They fucking go on, they turn to the internet, they go to Reddit and just post these strange visions they're having, and they're so fucking guttural that they had to, reach out. And they found each other. The 4 of them have all been having the exact same visions. And, Batista's a teacher. Uh-huh. He teaches 2nd grade, and he's a coach, and... he's all about guidance and shit. And, they all have their own little backstories or whatever. Fake redneck Ron Weasley. Jesus Christ. Stupid as shit.
You know what? Now I remember why we got to talking about the dwarves earlier. Because, why is Rupert Grant, whatever the fuck his name is, playing a redneck? He's trying to
branch out. I can appreciate it. But they shouldn't have used those takes because it makes him look really... really like an amateur. Like I could sound more like a Brit than he can sound like me.
They could have just put him in a different role. He could have played a different part in the movie. Yeah, they could have just
made him a fucking, Alone Tonight. He could have traveled all the way across the fucking country. But they needed that character. So the couple in the woods they're a gay couple who adopted a little Chinese girl.
Yeah.
And apparently years ago in a bar, they got attacked by a homophobic fella and turned out to be Ron Weasley.
Ah.
And okay,
well then why not just change up Batista and Ron? Just flip their characters.
Well, because they wanted Batista to be he's
guy.
The last line. He's just like this big fucking impassable wall. But he's like the gentlest giant. But you couldn't stop him.
Ah.
Like, he was never aggressive with them.
Yeah.
But he clearly had the ability to do so.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody intimidated by Ron Weasley.
No, I reckon you got a point there.
Yeah, and he's the first to go. So, like, the four of them sit down and tell him, like, hey, you have to make an impossible decision. This sucks. I agree that this sucks. We all agree this sucks. But they all have these weird makeshift weapons, these crazy-looking things.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Maybe the visions they had compelled them to make these weird,
death contraptions.
Yeah, but it's stupid shit. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like garden tools taped together to make something a little more imposing.
Like garden tools are already kind of deadly.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do a whole lot to make a shovel deadly.
Yeah, like they didn't have to do all that. They
or a hoe. A hoe is already pretty deadly.
In general.
Yeah.
It's deadly as fuck.
Put a nail on a stick. Just sharpen the stick.
Yeah. I'll tell you about another YouTube video I'll watch in a minute.
Boy.
Well, they're banning like kitchen knives. They're banning all sorts of knives in the UK.
They've been doing that.
They're banning everything, and now the gangsters are just taping kitchen knives to sticks, making war picks. Like, ban this. I dare you. Fucking, you ban that, I'll tape a screwdriver to it. What are you going to ban just every fucking object in existence?
Yeah.
Because I could kill you with anything.
That's a kind of funny point, because in Twisted Metal, there's this bar for the milkmen, and you're not allowed to have weapons in. And the girl that's with new Captain America, she's just like, well, but I can kill you with anything. I stabbed you with a screwdriver earlier.
That makes no sense. Like, everything's a weapon. But anyway.
Well, no, I'll let you find. There's a scene where they get into a fight there at the bar, and the guy pulls up a fork, and he uses it to stab somebody. So
fantastic, ban forks.
Yeah.
And then we go to chopsticks, and then the first time somebody gets stabbed one of those, we ban the chopsticks.
So you can say a chopstick might be more lethal than a fucking fork.
Yeah, it's deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They just need to.
I mean, the Joker killed a guy with a pencil.
I think we just have to accept the fact that some people suck.
Yeah, and if you want somebody dead enough,
it doesn't matter
it can happen.
What's available to you. You're going to make them die.
And if Looney Tunes have taught us anything, a piano is a viable weapon.
Yes, absolutely. Everything's a weapon. Fuck, you give me enough prep time, and I will kill you with a fucking slipper. You know what I mean?
Dude, I could kill you with this thumb.
Yeah. I mean, thumbs. Fucking thumbs are banned. Chop them off, everybody.
Yep.
No more thumbs.
I'm going to skull fuck you with this thumb.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, keep telling me about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to watch it, but I want to know your rendition.
So, they fucking... First of all, it was retarded. They approach the gay these two gay guys. They're on vacation in this really secluded swamp, like in fucking Florida or something. Like this cabin out in the woods, far from civilization.
Yes, that's believable for a gay couple to be in.
Yeah, they just wanted to go. It was actually a really nice place. It was like an Airbnb. They were doing vacation, and they brought their daughter there, and she was outside catching grasshoppers, and Batista appears and introduces himself. She's scared at first, but he's really nice. He gets to know her some, and he has conversations with her, and she makes friends with him, and then she notices 3 more people walking down the road, and she's like, "Oh, there's more of you?" And he said, "Yeah, there's more of us. I'm sorry, but you need to tell your daddy to go open the door. We have really important business with him." Stuff like this. And so she's terrified. They're toting weapons. Crazy, weird looking weapons. And she runs in the house and is like, hey, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming. Somebody's coming. She's freaked out. And so now when the four of them show up and knock on the door and want to speak to him, talking all crazy ominously, the door doesn't come open. So now, because it sounds crazy and intimidating. So why did he scare the little girl? What was the point? If he really wants to save these people, and I feel like there is a much more practical approach than immediately scaring their child.
Yeah.
Stupid. Number one, that's just dumb writing. That is not how I think, soccer coach Batista would have done that. I think I understand the character better than the guy who wrote the story, because that sounds retarded.
Yeah.
Pardon my French. But
a guy that deals with children all day, every day, I think he would know how to talk to a kid,
right.
Not freak him the fuck out.
Yeah, he knows what he's got to get out of this situation. One of those two people in the house have got to die. It's a fucking terrible tragedy that she's here at all. They had no idea that it was going to be a gay couple either. Apparently, some force told them that they have to go see a family, and one of the members of this family have to sacrifice the other one. And they can't sacrifice themselves. This one's got to sacrifice that one. And it has to be accepted. And so they're expecting like a mother, father, and their child. Uh-huh. And they get there and it's two gay guys that adopted a little Chinese girl. So they're all thrown off by that. But whatever. And now it becomes a home invasion. They're trying to get in. They fucking break in the windows and shit, but it's all super crazy, ominous. They could have easily said things that would have gotten the door open.
Yeah.
They didn't have to open with, hey,
we're here to kill one of you.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
It just terrible approach to start with, especially for people who've been mulling this over for weeks. If you play D&D, you know that in a matter of 10 minutes you can plan a siege. Yeah. If you put more than a goddamn iota of thought into it.
I don't even think it requires like D&D knowledge. I just think it kind of requires a little bit of common fucking sense.
Yeah, like these guys never played chess before. There's you're a team working towards a common goal, and none of you can think of a better plan than scare the little girl.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And you're a soccer coach.
Yeah.
You know how strategy works.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, eventually it winds up with the gay dudes fighting. They end up tied up, strapped to chairs. Right?
Wait, why the gay guys fighting each other or fighting them?
The people.
Okay.
And then the people,
obviously they overpower them because they have fucking Dave Batista.
Yeah, they have Dave Batista and Ron Big Stout Weasley.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tie you to that chair like Wingardium Leviosa. Don't you float off, you what do they call gay people over there? You poof. They call them puffs.
I know that they call a cigarette a fag.
Yeah, they do.
And it's not offensive because I'm talking about a cigarette.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I want to see a meme that has like a cigarette with legs jumping on a trampoline and it says, "Do a flip, faggot." And that's from that meme where it was like, I've told you about this. The funniest thing I've ever seen before in my life. It's like, it's a picture of a bridge, like an overpass bridge. Uh-huh. It's way far down. You can see the traffic moving. And there's this little ripped up portion of the bridge where you could get through. Mm-hmm. It like can cross over the bridge. And there's all these like inspirational graffitis everywhere. It says, "Don't do it. Your life matters. You're worth it. Don't do it." And there's like, the hotline, the suicide hotline written there. And like all these inspirational messages. And then right in the middle, right under the hole, says, "Do a flip, faggot."
Wow.
I don't know why that's so fucking funny. Maybe just as a person who's been to the bottom,
Yeah.
It's so fucking hilarious. Just fucking sucker punch on the way out.
It's just a little bit of gallows humor.
Just to show you, there's love, but society is a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It doesn't give a fuck about your feelings.
I can't remember who told the joke.
It will absolutely punch you on the way down.
There was a comedian, I can't remember who it was now, but he was talking about, if you're going to jump off a building, put a glass of water next to you. Put a glass of water down, go up the building and jump off. And then have a note that says, At least, I tried to make it. I said, make what? Were you trying to get in the glass of water? Like, is this a daredevil gone awry? Like, what's going on here? Or wear a cape. Go out with a flare.
Yeah.
Go out with a question mark, not a period.
Speaking of question marks and going out with them, M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, yes.
This fucking...
Shlamalama ding dong.
Yeah. This fucking... So, like...
Keep talking. I'm going to go get a glass of tea.
Yeah. They got the gay guys... There's cups in the far cabinet. Close to the back door. The far cabinet close to the back door. But, so the gay guys are strapped to these chairs, and the little girl's terrified, sitting in their laps, and the fucking, Ron Weasley gets tired of waiting as they're trying to convince him. That doesn't work. Cold tea. But, well, yeah, he spends about 30 seconds trying to convince him. And they're like, they tell him, hey, so we have to ask you to, we have to ask one of you, we have to ask the two of you to sacrifice one of yourselves. And for every no we get, we have to make a sacrifice. For every no we get, one of us will die, and then a massive portion of the planet will suffer. There will be plagues and so on and so forth. And so after 30 seconds of trying to convince these guys they get a no, Ron Weasley drops to his knees, puts a fucking white sack over his head, and they beat him to death.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right there in front of the two of them and the little girl. And then they turn on the news, and like a fucking tsunami comes. Wipes out California.
Uh-huh.
Fucking, literally, you can see a wall of waves. Like a rogue wave. Literally, hundreds of feet tall.
Yeah.
Fucking coming. It's like, oh, this is all pre-recorded, you knew this, blah. And, that whole argument, that's fine. That's compelling enough. But at the end, all of them die. They end up getting the upper hand. They break their restraints. They fucking shoot Batista. And...
Because the gay guys had a gun?
Yes. It was locked in his car outside. He had to run to the car to get it. It was a whole big thing.
That makes no sense.
He escaped once, and they put him back in the chair, and then he escaped again. And they took the gun that Batista had put in a certain spot. He didn't hide it well. Whatever. But, yeah. So Batista is the last one alive, and he now has control of the situation. He's free, and the man of the couple, his knees busted. He's no match to start with. And, the girl is... It's just not, he's not a girl. It's just the more feminine aspect of this relationship.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he's clearly not going to take a Dave Batista. And so Batista now has control. Little girl has run off to the treehouse. And the whole time, the more feminine gay guy is starting to buy into it more and more. And the manly man is like, no, absolutely not. Fuck it. I don't care if it's true or not. Fuck the whole world. Everybody on the planet will die. As far as he's concerned, whatever. He will not give up his partner or have his partner give him up under any circumstances. Fuck it. And it's supposed to be, so humanity is being judged on these decisions, right? So, it's their selfishness that is causing all this to take place. Millions of people to die because they're too selfish to relinquish the thing they value the most.
Uh-huh.
And, or the greater good. They won't do it. And at the end of it, Batista, now he's in control. He sits down. He's got the gun in one hand. He's got this knife in the other, and he sits down in a lawn chair. And he's like, when it's over, he said, when I'm gone, please make your sacrifice as quickly as possible. There won't be much time. We'll only have a few minutes before it's all over. Now, I have to ask you one more time. Are you willing to make a sacrifice? Yeah, fuck it. So he says, he gives one more little speech about his children. He says, if you would, he talks about being careful speaking to kids. And you got to be careful about what you say because they're sponges and all this stuff. And says something, and then he fucking sticks a knife in his throat, slices it, and dies.
That's unnecessary.
Cuts his throat. Had the gun right there.
Yeah.
Fucking cuts his throat open. I guess that's how. No, we don't know why he did that. We have no idea. And then, the feminine boy convinces his manly man that they got to do this. It's the only way, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And he's like, you already do. You believe it. So do I. You already don't think that this is fake. And so manly man shoots girly boy in the head. Kills him. Sacrifices him. And immediately, storm goes away. Earthquake stop. I'm talking about the earth is shaking this cabin at this point. And he goes and gets the daughter, and they hike back to the truck that Batista came in and drive away. And they're getting into town, and they go into this diner, and they see the news. Like, oh, yeah, the outbreak is over. The missile strikes have ended, and all this is done. Thank you. Whatever happened, thank you. Blah. And that's it.
That's it? What the fuck?
That's it.
Well, who is that movie for?
Who is it for?
Like,
I guess the idea is that we must be willing to make a sacrifice for the greater good. But what greater good are you talking about? And under what circumstances will this ever be relevant to anyone? And by the way, what happened? We have no clue what happened or why. There's no closure.
See, this is my problem with every M. Night Shyamalan movie.
There's not a fucking straight line to be drawn anywhere.
He's just doing shit to do shit.
He'll never see another fucking penny of mine.
No.
And it's because he has a compelling story. He's just not going to share it with you. You know what I mean? He's not going to... He covets the hook,
That's his whole writing style, is to keep you guessing the whole time. But now it's just gotten to where...
He is a fake treasure map. He is an X that leads to nothing. You dig and dig for 2.5 hours, and you find the chest, and you open it, and it's empty. That's M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. At this point, he's getting to where he just doesn't have any actual good ideas. So somebody gives him a premise, or he comes up with it one, but he just can't follow through on it anymore.
Yeah, man, I got all steamed up talking about M. Night Shyamalan.
Like, I gave up on that dude with whatever that movie was called, the Town or whatever.
The Village?
The Village, yeah.
Oh, my God, that shit sucked.
That pissed me off to no end. That pissed me off more than that horror movie that I was telling you about that we watched when we were teenagers.
Which one?
The one where the people, they got married, they go back to the house, and they're just hanging out. They're going to go on their honeymoon the next day, and these 3 people show up in masks, and they terrorize them all fucking night.
Because you were home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was more mad at that Village movie than that movie. Because you did all this. You made these monsters that were so compelling.
And cool.
And this town that you thought was in 1832, all of a sudden to find out it's actually 2005 and cell phones exist, but these people are just so fucking stupid.
I'm not saying that I saw it coming. I'm just saying that's a dumb twist.
It's a stupid twist.
So, like, the only reason you would do that is if you hadn't succeeded in the first place and making me think I was actually there. Like, I guess the idea is just that these cults can brainwash you into believing anything. But, like, it's just, there was a much, I don't know. Whenever I write stories and tell stories and run D&D games, like, I want you to chase a piece of cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you're a mouse running through a maze, and if there's no cheese at the end of the maze, there's nothing to compel you to run. So maybe so what he's doing is putting the scent of cheese there, so that you will run, and then you get there, so you can be pissed off at him afterwards.
Yeah, it's a cheese LaCroix. It's like somebody ate some cheese in the next room when you were drinking that drink. But like, it's an unnecessary twist, like with the Village, because it's like, It didn't have to be 2005. You could have, like, it was a compelling story that the village elders were putting this suit on to scare people back into the thing. Maybe there was some other reason that they would want to do that, to protect these people from the outside world. Not that there's cell phones existing and cars and shit. Like, that's fucking stupid.
He didn't write The Witch, did he?
I don't know. I never saw it.
Don't watch it. It's a stupid ass movie. It was terrible.
Yeah, the Witch with 2 V's.
I guess. I don't know. It's like in the frontier days, this family gets fucking kicked out of this town and they have to go off and homestead. And the father, it's a man and his wife and his daughter and his son. And like, all the guy can do is really split wood. He doesn't really have he can't grow anything. She doesn't know how to do anything. And then the son and the daughter, you know, they're both teenagers, and there's weird moments where he's looking at her, you know, fucking thinking about her, obviously, because he's having urges that he doesn't know what to do with, and there's no other vagina in 100 miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then their newborn little baby brother is born, and the teenage daughter is like playing with him out in the field, playing peekaboo. She's like, peekaboo! And the screen goes black when she covers her eyes. And then it lights up and the baby's there and he's like, ah, you know, That's adorable. And then she does it one more time and she opens her eyes and he's gone.
Yep. I saw that coming.
Yeah. But she was like right there. She's this far from his face.
Yeah.
And he's gone. Right out from under her. He's not there anymore. And then later on you see this old hag ass lady. It's actually a pretty good depiction of hags. It's just a fucked up story that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
This hag, these devil worshippers are living out in the woods and they're terrorizing these people.
Oh.
So this hag, she takes the baby, she mashes up his guts into this powder with this big fucking stick. She drinks it, you know, fucking to restore her youth or whatever, I guess. You never see her again. But then the devil starts calling to the girl, you know, that the baby disappeared for.
Yeah.
And trying to draw her in. Eventually it gets her. You know, the last scene is her dancing naked in the woods with the rest of the devil worshippers. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
They're all freaked out, crazy. The devil's attacking. They got this fucking, they got a goat named Black something. Black Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah. And it turns out the goat is the devil. And fucking the husband is all freaked out. His wife's acting funny now. She's having nightmares. The baby's gone. But you can see she's having this crazy nightmare where her baby was given back to her and he's suckling at her teat. And the guy walks in and there's a crow just fucking eating her nipple.
Oh, in like the real world?
Yeah. A crow is just like sitting on her knee and eating her nipple.
Jesus.
And just fucking eating her tit.
The fuck?
He's like, what in the fuck is going on here? I think he kills himself. He kills her and kills himself. And the son, I think... Maybe the son killed... I don't remember what happened. They all died except for the teenage girl who became a devil worshiper.
Alrighty.
Yeah, the end.
Movies are getting kind of weird these days.
It's like
they're either if it's original ideas, it's something so fucking stupid that you can't enjoy it, or it's just a reissue of something from years gone by.
Yeah. I think so, like stories like that or situations like that. This is just, you know, my bias because I'm a D&D player. It seemed like they'd serve better in a D&D situation. You need a hero, but you don't want to see a cliche hero beat that. You know what I mean? You want to be the hero.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, it's better to just feed that to a party of adventurers who fucking, you know, if any corn takes place, it's entirely their fault. They put all the cheese on that fucking, you know, they put all the cheese in the soup you served to them.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. They cheesed it up.
Yeah.
But...
Okay, so like, how would you fix that movie then?
The Witch. I would have. First of all, it would still mostly be a loss if I was to quote unquote fix the movie, but I think I would have the daughter repel the desire to give in and take vengeance on the other members of the... I think instead of a scene of her dancing around naked and then we roll credits, I think we'd have a scene of her dancing around naked, and then she reaches for something we can't see and comes up with a blade and murders every fucking one of them. I think that fixes the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what happens to her afterwards. I'm satisfied. You know, she took her fucking retribution. And it's not just, oh, she's a devil worshiper now. Now she's going to do that to somebody else's baby. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Even if, you know, she is destined to meet an untimely end after that, at least she got to fucking... we got some kind of fucking payback. Really, it's like the movie just punched you in the face.
Yeah.
You know, and then you had to take it. You just had to take it. You didn't get to do anything about it. You know? When the characters you invest in just lose, and that's it. Done. Total party wipe. TPK.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks every time.
It does. It ends up being very anticlimactic, you know, and kind of disappointing.
So, because afterwards, when you rolled credits on The Witch, you're like, why did I watch that? What were we building towards? Death? Loss? What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Why did I...
Maybe that is the point. Because a lot of these things... I don't always have to have a hero in my stories.
Right. I just want a resolution that...
Yeah, some resolution would be nice.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to realism, but it's a movie. And whether or not it's a horror movie, that's fine. But just like... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, no, you're fine. But to your point, and to my point a bit here, like, did you ever see the movie Seven?
Uh-uh.
It's Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, I think, and Kevin Spacey. So Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman are cops. And big spoiler here, Kevin Spacey's the bad guy.
Oh!
And what has been happening throughout the whole movie, there have been murders all based around the 7 deadly sins. So, like, one was gluttony, and it was a fat guy that ate himself to death. Like, he just continued to consume and consume and consume until he died.
Just demon feasted his ass.
Yeah. Another one was lust, and it was...
Fuck them all to death.
Yeah, basically somebody was fucked to death in, like, a BDSM type situation. There was a few more... And the end of it, the last one, was wrath. And so Brad Pitt, he has a wife in the movie, and she's pregnant throughout the whole movie. And you meet her, and you kind of get to know her a little bit. And at the very end, this is where the what's in the box thing comes from. At the very end, Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Spacey are out in the middle of a desert. Because they got a tip that this was where, or Kevin Spacey led them there, that this was where the last murder was supposed to happen, the last deadly sin. And there was actually plot twist. There's 2 sins here. There's wrath and envy. So Kevin Spacey winds up killing Brad Pitt's wife and putting her head in the box because he was envious of her. He was envious of Brad Pitt's life. And Brad Pitt, seeing his wife's decapitated head in this box, kills Kevin Spacey because of wrath. And that's the big twist. It's a great fucking movie. But it's one of these movies where nobody really wins in the end. Everybody loses something. You know,
and that's fine though. You know, that's okay.
Yeah, because it was also this amazing storytelling throughout the entirety of the movie. There was not ever any dead spaces where I'm bored and watching it just because I'm trying to get through the movie. Like you're gripped in. You're there for the ride the whole way. And that's what a lot of these movies like The Witch and Old and fucking the Cabin movie.
That Cabin movie, you mentioned Dead Space, and there's not any points where I'm bored. This stuff, like, fucking me and Caroline watched it together.
Yeah.
And immediately she knew when I was upset.
I almost spit my tea out.
Like, It was within the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm already annoyed that, Batista scared the little girl, even though he's a soccer coach. Coach Batista.
Uh-huh.
And I'm picking that apart. Like, why didn't they just... Their goal is to speak to these people candidly. And they have a terrible truth to share with them. That's what I know. I don't know what their terrible truth is. I know nothing about the movie.
Yeah.
I just know that while the scene is happening where they're knocking on the door, trying to get in and finna break in because they won't let them in, I immediately, with no knowledge of what's going to happen, I'm like, this is retarded because they have a terrible truth they want to share and they need to speak candidly, and instead they didn't do that at all. They immediately showed up like militants. You know what I mean? They didn't do it right.
They shoved it down your throat.
Yeah, their words didn't match their actions at all. And so I'm pissed off about that. And then finally, they get in the door. And, it's this big build-up. We're finna see this crazy fucking scene, and we cut away. And we see the two gay dudes in China or wherever they adopted her. And they're having this whole conversation. And we're just learning more about their life and what's going on. And, because they just popped the tension balloon, but, it didn't get to go anywhere. So as soon as we swap scenes...
So you're not adding anything to the story, you're just literally taking away...
You just pulled me away from that scene so I didn't get any more. You just took it from me. You took, the last bite of my sandwich.
How long is this movie?
Like an hour and a half. But as soon as we moved out of that scene... I guess my head went into my hands, and I was like, "Why are we?" And I didn't even. And she said, "Oh my God, you are so upset. I can see this is physically hurting you." And I was like, "Yeah, it is. It hurts real bad. This stupid fucking movie." And she's like, "We don't have to watch it." And I was like, "No, we have to watch it. I have to see this now. I have to see exactly how much I hate M. Night Shyamalan."
I'm the same way. If I start this movie, I'm going to have to finish it just to see where this stupid roller coaster goes.
Out of spite, I'm going to finish it.
Yeah. I did that. I did this on purpose. I purposefully watched a horrible movie a couple years ago.
We hold that thought.
What you got?
I got to pee so bad.
All right, well, let's pause it real quick, and I'll tell you my terrible movie story.
All right. And we're back.
So, this horrible movie that I made myself watch. I'm kind of obsessed with Scientology. Not in I believe any of it, but I think it's so wacky, it's hilarious.
Sure.
Yeah, because I totally believe Xenu brought a bunch of 707s over that were gold-plated on asteroids and such. Anyway.
And I definitely believe you're being sarcastic just now.
Yeah.
That was me being sarcastic.
I could tell. Anyway, so the guy that made Scientology, his name's L. Ron Hubbard.
Yep.
He also, coincidentally, is the most published author ever.
Really?
Yeah, he's got some 10,000 books or something like that he has published himself. And one of those books was called Battlefield Earth. And I don't know if you know this or not, but John Travolta was I guess still is a real big Scientologist. And he thought L. Ron Hubbard was the greatest thing since sliced bread, since Jesus.
So that's why Battlefield Earth happened.
Yeah, so he wanted to make L. Ron Hubbard's vision with this Battlefield Earth. And so they made this movie, and it's just god-awful. It is so fucking bad. It's one of the worst rated movies to have ever been made. And this was they put some money into this fucking thing. It was made in 2003. So everything is super slow. Every action scene, there's at least, I want to say somewhere between 20 and 30 little slow-mo action clips in this movie. It's legitimately about 2 hours long, a little over 2 hours. And it's just god-awful. God-awful. So the premise of the movie is that Earth was invaded by these aliens that are super bureaucratic and stuff. They're just giant bureaucrats. Everything is business to them. And John Travolta and who's the black guy with the lazy eye?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He's in the movie too. Those guys are aliens, and the aliens are like super duper tall. They're gigantic compared to humans, and they call humans like the man beast or something like that, like man ape or ape man. And they look down on humans. They use humans to mine gold and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so there's this guy, and I don't know who the actor is. I can't remember his name or anything. And his name's like Johnny. It's not Johnny Utah because that's Point Break, but it's something like Johnny Utah or David Montana. So what, general white guy name in a state or a region. And all the humans, this is like a couple thousand years in the future from now. All the humans have reverted back to very primitive stuff. They ride horses, they wear leather clothing because that's what they have to make it with and stuff. And just super caveman-y, but also talk like normal humans with normal human dialects and stuff, but also still really stupid. And so I'm just going to call him Johnny Utah because I can't remember his name. Johnny Utah. I got to remember. It's been so long since I watched it, but he is like mad. And so he wants to break free and free the humans and stuff from their alien captors. And there's this girl. There's really no explanation as to why she's so important to him and stuff, because they never do anything, but they always like almost kiss. It's like there's supposed to be this weird sexual tension between them that never really gets fulfilled. And so he winds up getting captured, and he frees a bunch of prisoners, but then they all get recaptured again. And when they get recaptured, they hear of a place that has so much gold. The so much gold ends up being Fort Knox. And so he convinces John Travolta to let him take a group of humans and go and mine all this gold so that they can give it to their alien overlords. And John Travolta eventually allows them to. And before they let him go, they make him smart by putting him in this machine that brainwashes him kind of, but puts all this information in his head, and he learns how to speak and read their language and stuff. And so this winds up helping him because it needed to. And they go to Fort Knox, and they start getting all this gold out and stuff, and there's these jets, the like MiG-23 jets that just so happen to work still thousands of years in the future. Because, rust isn't a thing. Yeah.
And were they just been sitting around all this time?
They just been sitting around at Fort Knox that doesn't actually have jets. They were a tank battalion when this movie was made. That was what they had there. They didn't have jets. They might have had like one or two, but they mostly had like fleet kind of stuff. So anyway, it ends up being this big battle. These monkeys, essentially, that are in human clothes, figure out how to fly these jets because there's an operational, like jet trainer, like a little virtual jet trainer thing. So they learn how to fly these jets off of a video game, basically. And they figure out how to make a nuclear bomb somehow.
Right there at Fort Knox, all their information.
Right there at Fort Knox. They just have all this material and this knowledge and stuff that they pull out of their asses. And so the aliens can't breathe our atmosphere, and we can't breathe their atmosphere. So the aliens built this giant dome that they pump their atmospheric stuff into so they can breathe in. And so their plan was to take the jets and drop a nuclear bomb on the dome. They had to like break the dome a little bit so they could actually get the bomb into the dome, because otherwise it would just explode on top of it and not do anything. And of course, things happen where they can't, but then miraculously one of them sacrifices themselves in a real Independence Day kind of scenario where he just crashes the jet into the fucking dome So the other guy can come up with the bomb and drop it in there precisely without any kind of knowing how to actually do it.
Why didn't they just make 2 bombs? One to crack the egg and the other to, hit the yolk.
Why did L. Ron Hubbard have to exist? So
That's a fair question.
the bomb winds up not going off when it gets inside the dome, and so one of the guys that's with Johnny Utah has to sacrifice himself again. And so what winds up happening is that because the structural integrity of the dome got fucked up when they blew the hole in it, it starts caving in. But then they go and there's a transporter, so the guy that's going to sacrifice himself grabs the bomb, because a dude can just pick up a nuclear bomb. It's like the size of a briefcase.
Huh.
And starts running towards the transporter and dives into it all slow-mo and shit with just random explosions happening around him for some reason. Gets into the transporter, goes back to the alien homeworld thing, and blows the entire planet up with a briefcase. And then Johnny Utah and Ape Girl get to get it on finally. And that's how the movie ends.
The briefcase blew up a whole planet.
Yep. Apparently their atmosphere is made up of mostly methane or something, so
so the fire.
Yeah, the whole planet just blew the fuck up. But it didn't blow up the entirety of the fucking dome whenever they shot one pistol off.
So fire is completely alien to them. Can't have no fire.
I guess. I'm telling you,
but that's stupid, because then anything that enters their atmosphere is going to catch fire.
Yep.
So they shouldn't exist.
Yep.
Because all the methane would have been burned off long ago.
Yep.
Huh.
I'm telling you, you only are just now figuring out the one plot hole in this Swiss cheese movie.
Well, I'm just... Well, it's a movie about aliens, whatever. Fucking bombs don't work like that. Well, I mean, the only way it could is if the whole planet was flammable.
Yep.
But if the whole planet is flammable, it wouldn't be there in the first place. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, this is a movie based on a book that was written by a guy that came up with Scientology.
Yeah.
The most published fictional writer in the world.
Scientology's taking a big L.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Danny Masterson.
Yep.
He's spending the next 30 years getting butt fucked by a guy named Bubba.
Yeah. It's always a guy named Bubba.
It's always a guy named
I
Bubba.
wanted to feel bad. I wanted...
Yeah, I wanted, Hyde.
I liked Hyde. And, I saw... there was a horror movie he was in right before that. I don't know why I followed Danny Masterson. I just thought he was a cool character.
He was in Horrible Bosses, too, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, but there was a horror movie called The University or The Academy or something.
I never saw it.
Or The Factory? Fuck.
The Faculty?
The Faculty, yes!
I did see that.
He was in there.
Was he?
Yes.
Really?
He was one of the younger kids, He looked like Hyde.
Dude, I think I watched that movie in 2005.
He wasn't a huge character, but, he's noticeable.
Yeah, but I mean, that's right around the same time that he was doing That 70s Show.
Yeah. And I think it was right before his... I think he might have been doing That 70s Show at the same time. But it was real early.
Yeah.
But, yeah, fucking... I was a Masterson fan.
I was too. I liked, when he was playing Hyde, that was a real cool character and stuff.
I didn't even know he was a Scientologist until all this came out.
I figured it out in probably 2010, give or take. That was when my Scientology kick kind of started kicking in.
Yeah, I never gave a fuck. Not really.
I just think it's so ridiculous. It's hilarious.
It is. It's fucking Scientology, Mormons. I think.
I'll give the Mormons a little bit of credit. If you're going to be in a cult, you might as well be in a nice one.
Yeah. So.
It's still stupid.
Okay. I got one more, and then we're gonna close. We're coming up on 3 hours.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I gotta get going soon.
my lady friend, she likes to watch the series. Fucking like a 12-season long series called.
Hey, wait, let me guess. It's not the Amish Mafia, is it?
Sister Wives.
Oh, so I have something on that.
Yeah.
Because I was work will make you friends with some weird people.
Yep.
When I first started at the place that I was just at, I was paired up with this 65-year-old dude who was as nice as he could be. His name was Bill.
I've heard about Bill.
Really cool dude. He was a Mormon. He gave me a Book of Mormon. I have it at my house right now. I haven't read it yet because I kind of know the basis.
Dum.
I kind of already know the basis of Mormonism.
Yeah, South Park taught us.
Yeah, but
that's what the Book of Mormon reads. Dum.
But I did learn something from him, amongst many things, that apparently the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is what the Mormons actually are, they read from the Book of Mormon. They are not called Mormons themselves, other than just colloquially.
We call them Mormons.
Yeah. But if you believe in polygamy, you are not part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You are discommunicated. So those guys that are doing all that stuff are not actually Mormons.
They just are using it as an excuse.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'll be down. But, yeah, fella's got like several wives. And it's a dude, it's the craziest fucking shit I've ever seen before in my life. Looks like what's his name? That guy that follows James Gunn to every movie he does. You know, fucking the guy with the whistle and the mohawk from Guardians.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he was...
Yondu.
Yeah, Yondu, and he was Savant in the new fucking Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
Fucking guy looks like him with like a curly ass mullet, but a huge widow's peak. You know, but the curliest Goldilocks mullet I've ever seen before in my life.
Wow.
And this guy has like 7 wives.
Jesus Christ.
And like Caroline's like full on in it, loves it, fucking is just watch it, you know.
Why?
And I came to bed and she was watching, you know.
Yeah.
And I came in and she was like, "You gonna watch Sister Wives with me?" And she turns on Sister Wives and I was like, "What?" So first of all, I got an issue with the name. Is this what it sounds like? No. You know that they and I was like, they have it's an open marriage. Like, yeah, it's polygamy. Well, that's a stupid fucking name. I spent 20 minutes riffing on the name.
Yeah, you know, polygamy is actually illegal in the U.S.
Really?
Yeah, it's called bigamy. So to be married to more than one person is illegal. And it's a class A felony or something like that, class B felony. You can do prison time for that.
Huh. I don't know how they're getting away with making a show.
Well, because they're not legally married to these extra women.
It's just their sister wives.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I spent 20 minutes riffing on the stupid fucking name, you know, like, and she's defending it because she likes the show.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, it's like, you know, the wives are kind of sisterly. Like, yeah, and then they get dicked down by daddy. What are you talking about? Like, what's happening?
I have, because my wife and I have had this same conversation. Because she was like, wouldn't you? She saw that show. She didn't get into it like that. She saw that show, though. I was like, would you want an extra me running around? I was like, absolutely fucking not.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I have a hard enough time dealing with one of you.
She did. She kind of threw the same thing at me. She's like, "What? Like, so, like, if I wanted to, we couldn't never." No, absolutely not.
No, I don't.
She's like, "So I can't get." Like, and she was just joking.
Yeah,
like, I can't get any help around here. I was like, "Well, fucking, if you need help around here, we'll hire a fucking maid." But I ain't got to dick her down. You know what I mean? We ain't got to do all that shit.
It ain't even that, because everybody thinks polygamy would be awesome because sex,
right?
But it's terrible. Because now it's not just one of them bitching at you.
It's
7 of them. Because you know good and damn well, if you fuck up good enough, they're not going to be on your side. They're going to be on the side of the one that you fucked over.
Yeah, they're going to be on the side of the person that's, whose bodily functions are synced up,
Yeah. And that's another thing. Good God, because they don't believe in fucking birth control.
Yeah.
So they're all going to be on the same cycle. And good God, no. God, no.
She was trying to reel me in with the premise, like, but she doesn't like that shit. She left him because he's a dick. And I was like, well, they should all leave him because he's a dick. Are you kidding me? Like, I feel like
he's got 7 wives. Of course, he's a dick.
Yeah, the fucking amount of manipulation a fella has to be capable of to achieve 7 wives is astronomical.
Astronomical.
It's beyond comprehension to a normal man. That fella is absolutely. I don't think it's possible for him not to be a sociopath.
Oh, of course. At least a giant narcissist.
Yeah, absolutely. To like fucking.
And I had this same notion. You remember that show, like 17 Kids and Counting, with the Duggar folks? I remember it was 2010 before anything ever came out about them. And my wife and her friend were watching that show. I came home one night, and they were watching that shit. And I told them, it's like, there's some screwy shit going on in that house, and good and goddamn well there is. Like, no, they're Christian. They're so wholesome. Turns out they're all getting fucking diddled. And have been for years.
By their dad?
By the oldest son.
Jesus.
And then the dad, this happened like a couple different times. And the first time it happened, they tried to cover it up and send him to some kind of Christian retreat where they just put him to work the whole time. And try to like just work the bad thoughts out of him, I guess.
Pray the
devil away.
Yeah.
And then he come back and did it again, and
Jesus.
They tried to cover that up, and then they actually put out a documentary series a couple months ago about him, and one of the oldest daughters, who the diddling happened to the most. She was coming forward and stuff, and like they had to cut ties with their whole family basically because they were speaking out about this stuff, and the dad basically stole a bunch of money from him, or cheated him out of money. Really, he didn't steal it because all the contracts with TLC was going through him.
So he just didn't give her share.
Yeah, he didn't give the kids anything. He kept all the money. He ran that place like it was a business because it was. They were making millions of dollars on those shows.
He was running a fucking kennel.
Yeah, and then when the daughters got old enough and stuff, then they started having their own kids. They didn't want cameras in the delivery room with them, but TLC come up and was just being dicks, and they were like, "Well, you signed this contract, so we're going to be there." It was this whole crazy thing.
Well, she could just, like, if that was to happen, like, if for whatever reason, if for whatever reason a parent of mine signed a contract that said that TLC gets to watch me take a shit every day from now on, and now I'm a grown-up, yeah. And the whole premise is that there's going to be people around, talking, and we're just living our fucking lives while they record. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it so you don't record it, so you don't use the footage. I'm going to look directly at the camera and the cameraman and talk shit about TLC. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not going to use this footage. There's no fucking way.
Well, and one of the really manipulative things was that when they got to be of age, he tricked them all into signing contracts that made it where he could do all this stuff.
Some Britney Spears, Amanda Bynes ass shit.
Yeah, it is. Pretty fucked up.
It is.
To do that to your kids and stuff.
Absolutely.
Treat them like a business.
Well, let's resolve to never do that.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good podcast return.
I think so. We had a lot of things to talk about there.
We covered some topics. Got Twisted Metal, hit the fucking Guns N' Roses, the goddamn. Oh yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. They're going to be running a game soon.
Yeah.
If you feel like it ever.
I'm working on it. Yeah. I'm building some maps to go along with the thing too. So there has been some progress.
That's good. I'm excited, dude. I cannot wait to play. I'm gonna be Vetch and be a little goblin wild magic sorcerer boy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. See, you're gonna be the goblin sorcerer Vetch. Well, oh, she was gonna be the siren.
Mm-hmm. Bard.
Yeah, siren bard. My wife was gonna be a tiefling raised by river otters. Druid.
She's gonna be our tank.
Yeah, and John was gonna be Brian, a goblin warlock.
Yeah.
And we're playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh, but then, so I don't like the last half of the book. Basically, once you get past like level 5, there's some events that happen with another faction that you kind of run into, and the shit that's going on with them. Once you get past that part, it's basically just these random missions that they send you on that don't really play into it. So do you remember we talked about my campaign idea for the kind of open world, go to new lands not explored?
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what's going to end up happening at the end there.
I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm D-double-O down. And then once we finish that game, I can run Descent in Avernus.
Yeah,
I bet y'all would like that.
I would.
I'm finna revive it.
I've wanted to play that. I read a little bit about it. I didn't read the whole book. I think I still have the book.
No, I got it.
You do? I must have gave it back to you.
I kept it. Because
I know I had it for a little while there.
Oh, yeah. You must have borrowed it way at the beginning.
Yeah, we were like real early on in our last DMD campaign. But yeah, I would be super excited to run that.
Absolutely. I will run the shit out of it for you. I've done it twice already. And I'm pretty familiar with the work. Know how things are going to go. It's super duper awesome Mad Max like at the end there. But yeah. So, stuff. And hopefully we can go back to doing these like once a week.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yeah. And it'd be real nice if we could also do Dungeons and Dragons too.
I'm working on it.
You know, I just saying, you know, I did it for a fella.
I know. I know.
I opened my doors, and I've actually done that again. I'm just doing. I'm failing to.
You
guilt
did
trip.
it on the internet.
Yeah,
though.
I'm failing to guilt trip you. I know.
Yeah.
We all want to play D&D.
I know. I do too. I'm excited to stretch my DM muscles.
Yeah. To acknowledge their existence. I've only done it once.
Yeah. That was a nice little intro, and now we're going to do the real thing.
Yeah. I might end up being a little bit of a handful just because of all the useless D&D knowledge in my head.
Yeah.
But I'll do my very best to keep it under control. And it'll be a lot easier because, the lady will be there.
Yeah. Can't show out as much.
Yeah.
She'll rein you back in.
Yeah. She will.
And I'm going to have to show out a little bit because my lady's going to be there.
But because your lady is going to be there, I might have a huge effect on, how I interact with you in the first place. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I don't feel like I'd be quite as harsh in your direction.
I don't know. I've had some of the harshest criticism come out of that woman, so.
Yeah, but, because your girl is there, I'm going to go easy. Because, I don't know.
Build your bro up?
Yeah.
Yeah. By not knocking him down.
Right, exactly. I can't give her any ammo.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I've lived with that woman for 10 years. She's got plenty of ammo.
She got it all.
There's not a thing you could add to that.
That's fair. But, all right. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I missed it very much. And I'll be damned if I'm going to work tomorrow.
You and me both, brother.
I don't think it's even possible.
Nah.